We are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Vicinda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP, which is a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard, and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope and desire here at Plus One is to help amazing designers find great players who love their games and amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. We do that in a lot of different ways, but the most fun way is to sit down with those designers to play those games, or in today's case, adventures. We are sitting down with Nick to play. I'm going to mess it up because I'm not looking directly at it. Sanctimonious Slimes and Expired Epicurians. The first printed adventure for Errant after the original release. Is there another one that's correct, right?
No, this will be the first printed
one,
adventure.
Right? Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, Ganshogger will there's
it's not
still
out
an
yet.
Opportunity.
Okay.
Well, Ganshogger is out as a free PDF, but if you back the Kickstarter, I think there are still some print copies of Ganshogger left. There's only ever going to be 100 of them, so the Kickstarter is the only opportunity to get them if you want them.
Awesome. I'm a big fan of Errant. We've been really supportive of it as it was going through. Really love the team over at Killed Jester, and really excited, Nick, to sit down with you and play this game. Also, for people who aren't familiar with you, the adventure, or the system, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're going to be playing today?
So you got really close on the name. It is Sanctimonious Slimes versus Expired Epicures. It is a little dungeon adventure that I threw together. Not threw together. I've been working on it since 2019. And it is a relatively small little dungeon that has some factions, has some odd rooms for you to explore, some historical layers to uncover, and yeah, I think it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Again, I'm super excited to play. You can go over to ttrpg.link/slimesks. That's going to take you right over to the Kickstarter page. We'll also make sure that it's linked in the chat. But before we dive in, let's meet our other players. Let's kick it off with Keegan this time. Keegan, say the things.
Yeah, hi, I'm Keegan EXE. I was typing something simultaneously. I'm a game designer and I stream here at Plus One. That's my intro.
Awesome. Ivy, why don't you go next? Tell people a little about who you are, what you do, and if you want to be found online, tell them where they can find you.
Sure. I'm Ivy. I've dabbled in role-playing game writing. I was one of the authors on the Book of Gob. But other than that, I haven't really worked on much. And I am currently reworking all my socials, so nowhere currently. That's
great. It's a good idea. Everybody should constantly reevaluate their socials and maybe just get rid of them sometimes. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then Dwiz, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and if you want to be found online, tell them where.
Hi, I'm Alex. I go by Dwiz online. At the time, I currently just blog. I have a blog called The Night at the Opera, which is at Blogspot, and I talk about games.
Awesome. Love it. Before we dive into play, there's a couple things I want to bring to your attention that we'd love to have you check out here to help support Plus One EXP. If you want to head over to rpgzine.club, you can check out our new membership community. It is a monthly subscription to one or two different zines that we have curated from new or emerging voices from all over the different creative space within RPGs. You can sign up to get story games each month with their games that focus on narrative or the characters and use a lot of popular systems like PBTA, Belonging Outside Belonging, or other kind of story and narrative focused games. The other one is the adventure game membership, which lets you get things that are made for old school style role-playing games, new and emerging systems, anything where you go on an adventure and it's focused on exploring the world around you. That's what we call an adventure game. Or if you want both of those things, you can just get all the zines. There's a membership for that also too, but you're going to be supporting emerging creators, a lot of whom can't take their projects to crowdfunding because they live in the global south or for some other reason, and you'll help create better sustainability for us here at Plus One, all the content we do and everything else. We have about 100 people who have signed up. We're floating right underneath that number. I'd love to break through it this weekend, and if you sign up before Monday, you'll get last month's and this month's zine sent to you next week. So great time to hop in, check out Zine Club. And the other thing is the Wassailing of Claws Manor, which we are taking to Kickstarter next week. And check that out at ttrpg.link/oh no, because it is a horrifying holiday trophy dark incursion by the award-winning team of Mike Martins and Brian Sago. Enough with all the self-promotion and ads for us. That's not what you came here to see if you're watching, more than likely, though we'd love to have you check those things out. You came here to watch us go into a dungeon and maybe find some slimes and maybe find some expireds. That's probably not the best way to refer to them. Before we do that, though, we are going to have a short conversation about safety. On +1, because we play with different people and because we play different systems all the time, we want to make sure everybody feels secure and comfortable around the table. So we have a couple safety tools that we use here on stream to make sure those happens. Those are lines, veils, the X card, and an open door policy. Lines are things that might happen in the world of the game, but they don't happen when we're playing it. They're things that are off limits and can't come up and play to keep everybody comfortable. Veils are things that might come up and play, but if they do, we treat them within a certain context. That might be mentioning them and moving forward, or fading to black, or only approaching them within a certain context. We have a traditional hard line against sexual violence and sexual coercion here on the stream, but we like to leave other pieces up to our players and our GM to kind of speak into what they would like to see kind of taken off the table for play. So does anybody have any lines or veils that they want to add to our list? We're all good?
Nothing I can think of.
Cool. Well, just remember, we also have the X card, which means if at any point you're uncomfortable, confused about what's happening, you can always say X or type it in the chat. We'll pause the game, identify what the issue is. You don't have to explain why you don't like it. And then we'll move it out if we need to, or clarify it if it's just something that was unclear, and move forward from there. We also have an open door policy, which means as we're playing, if we need to pause for a second, get up, move away from our cameras, that's fine. If we need to eat, drink, those are things are okay also too. We're real people who have real lives, and if we need to take care of something in our real lives, we will do that also too. If all of us need to, we'll pause and take a break real quick so we can take care of those things. If you're out there watching, we encourage you to take care of yourself while you're playing or while you're watching. So with all of those things said, because that was a lot, Nick, I'm going to hand things over to you to take us into the dungeon.
All right. So I want to check real quick. I cannot see a chat. So if someone typed X in it, is someone, Tony, do you?
If somebody types X in the Google Meet, it will pop up here. I will show you what it looks like when it happens.
Okay, yeah, that's very obvious for me.
Yeah. But on stream, I encourage, if people are able to say it out loud. It is helpful. But yeah.
All right. So I'm going to elide a little bit of the beginning of this adventure. So you all are errants. You are money-hungry people. You are out here looking for treasure to fund your next binge of whatever pleasures that you're seeking in this life. Or maybe you're some kind of altruist and you have a sick aunt and you need money to take care of her or something. Weird, but you do you. So you've heard that there's some treasure out here in the ground, and you've come out here looking for it. This hole in the ground happens to be surrounded by a village that is currently in the grips of a very repressive and angry religion that we're not really going to engage with on this stream, because you guys just kind of sneak past the religious authorities who are uncomfortable with people poking around this hole in the ground that all sorts of old paganistic folk religions put stock in, and instead you just sneak down into it. So you via whatever method, perhaps a rope and piton up top, have rappelled down into a dark hole in the ground, and you find yourself, after navigating this rock crevice, in the room that's depicted here on the shared window. the walls are these massive megalithic stones. There are 8 exits down short stairways, and to the north and south in this room are 2 fountains, like large basins up against the walls. I should note additionally that this room is overgrown with plant life. Clearly moisture has been dripping down this hole for untold amounts of time, and the walls are oddly textured. Let's see. Does anyone have anything in this room that interests them?
I'd like to check out the basins. Is there water in them or something else?
Let's see. Do you let's see.
I'll check out the north one first.
Okay. So you head over to the northern fountain, and there's a little face in the wall that has there's currently no water streaming from the open mouth and open eyes, but there's clearly the deep rivulets of erosion and staining of water minerals that have been left behind. And the basin is indeed filled with water, and you see dozens upon dozens of little baby snakes wiggling around in there.
Interesting.
Would you like to do anything to interact with these snakes?
I've got like are they just a thin layer of them? Are they covering stuff?
No, it seems like they're actually down inside of the water.
Oh, interesting.
Like occasionally they will like come up towards the top, maybe like eat a bug or something like that. But
in the fountain, there's a face. Would it like normally stream from the mouth or something?
Very clearly, that's what this was built to do. There's currently nothing coming out of it. Whether or not it's broken or it's just part of a drainage system that there's currently no water flowing through, who knows?
There are no openings bigger than just like a small pinpoint or anything. There's nothing I could reach my hand into or a pole, right?
You could probably like, if you held your hand like this, you might be able to squeeze your knuckles through.
Just a quick tiny question about the system. I have a heavy weapon. Can that be some sort of polearm?
Absolutely, it can.
Okay.
So long as it remains a polearm. Yeah.
Yeah. Just wanted to check that beforehand. I wasn't sure if it was a separate thing. I'd like to check out the south basin as well, if possible.
Okay. Before like we have you like move between these two places, like during this period of time when Ivy and Dwiz are up looking at the northern fountain, Tony and Keegan, what are you two up to?
I think we're taking in some of the same stuff, but I think I'm more curious does it look like the water that's gathered into the basement is the water that's been leaking through the open like tunnel that we just came down? Like you mentioned, there was like that had been exposed to the elements. Are there any signs that like, hey, this is just the drainage off the middle of the floor, or does it look like this water has been sitting for a long time?
The water looks like it's been sitting. It's actually a raised basin off of the floor.
Okay.
So the lip of this basin is at about waist height.
All right.
For I think all of you are of roughly human proportion. Is that correct?
Roughly.
Yeah.
No, wait, one of you is a mouse.
My name is Mouse.
Yes. That was a pre-gen I made. You are a mouse person.
I am a mouse person. Excellent. Yes. I'm slightly shorter.
Yes.
Roughly.
You are like roughly like 3.5 feet tall.
I'm
so
diminutive.
for you, you might be at like neck height, looking over.
Perfect.
I peer over the edge.
I am actually a goblin, so I'm probably about the same height here.
Oh, we need to determine which one of you is taller, so we know
It's
I
very
am
who looks
like-
down on whom.
I am likely the tallest. I'm picturing my character like at least 6 feet. At the minimum.
I will contest that. Auntie Fixer, the giant hair monster.
Oh
Picture-
man, okay, yeah, you're taller.
You get a picture like Sweetums from the Muppets, but like
But
in an
is
apron.
Perfect.
Are you taller or is it the hair? That's the real question.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
There's a lot of muscle underneath. I think I'm pretty tall.
All right, I'm gonna just roll this real quick. 1, 2, 3. The mouse is taller than the goblin. I have rolled a 2, so the mouse is a little bit taller than the goblin.
Duck it,
You
Keegan.
do get to look down.
I am standing on my toes though. Does that change things?
Oh yeah, I mean it's close enough that
Okay, cool.
I'm walking flat-footed, so yeah, but we can all see that you're doing it.
So it sounds like all of you were checking out the Northern Fountain at the same time.
Yeah.
All right. I will. So then, as Ivy's character, do you have a character name, by the way, Ivy?
My character is named Mary Adelaide Finch.
All right. I will
Or
endeavor
Mary
to
is
remember
fine.
that. You know what? I'm gonna write that down.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Addie Finch. So Mary Adelaide Finch then moves
Oh
down
no,
to the southern end of the room.
this is my fault for choosing a long name.
And you see that the fountain here on the southern end of the room is the water is much murkier and has a bit of a green hue to it.
I'm gonna poke around in it with the end of my pole arm just gently.
Okay. Which end of your pole arm?
The wooden end.
Okay. So you begin prodding around in this at the end with the wooden end of your pole arm in this pool, and it is surprisingly viscous. It also seems to the ripples away from your prodding are unusual. They don't vibe right with your expectations of fluid dynamics, your intuitive understanding of how fluid works.
I, at a distance, call out. It doesn't appear to be particularly sanctimonious, does it, Mary?
No, not particularly. This looks a little celebratory, but that's all I can think of. Maybe like a Jello mold almost.
All right, I trust that.
Is there anything I can find poking around in it?
Let's see. How vigorously are you? Like you said you prod it, and I'm imagining that you
I prodded it first,
disturb the water.
and then once it isn't giving particularly and it's not acid, I'll poke further in.
Okay. So as you are prodding more forcefully and exploring this pool, a part of this fluid will separate itself, and you will see the water divide into something that is significantly less murky and something that is significantly more green.
I will jump back quickly.
You can jump back quickly without issue, because the first thing that's going to happen here. Actually, we should roll a reaction roll. I should not get ahead of myself. So, Mary Addie Finch, I'm going to have you roll 2d6.
I got a 3.
Oh, wow. Okay. Maybe I should check to see if you can jump back quickly.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
So, well, at a 3, it isn't. You've just barely missed hostile.
Okay.
So, yeah, a slime creature, an ooze, separates itself from this and castigates you for disturbing its noble experiment in self-dilution. in becoming one with a different form of matter.
That's self-dilution, not delusion, right?
Yes, dilution.
Okay. Just had to be
Mary,
clear.
I asked you if it was sanctimonious. Come on.
It appears to be very sanctimonious, actually. I was mistaken.
It immediately launches into a very frustrated ramble about how solid creatures have absolutely no respect for spiritual experimentation, for attempts to elevate the self, the mind, the body to different realms of understanding. It goes into an extended disparagement of everything about you and who you are.
I'm gonna say I take it on the chin, and just kind of turn to the rest of the group as it's monologuing, and gesture over to it with like a, "What's this guy's deal?" sort of.
Oh, it's definitely going to snap react to you attempting to do that. It's like, listen to me when I'm talking to you. I should note that this thing like has no visible like mouth or anything. It's just an amorphous mass.
Yeah, I don't really even know where to look.
Yeah, a burbling voice is coming from it.
Now, I'm inclined to defer to our goblin preacher as my spiritual guide. So I would ask them, what are your thoughts on all this? I don't know what the right response is. Can you take this one?
I'm just gonna reach in this North Pool and grab one of the snakes you said was in there.
All right, you reach into the North Pool. You grab one of the snakes. It immediately says, "Help me!"
Go calm your friend down. And I'm gonna fling the snake at the at the ooze.
All right. I'm going to. You're a zealot. I'm gonna have you.
I'm an occult.
You're still standing.
No, he's an occult. I'm a zealot.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Which is why I loved that they were deferring to him. It was great. I don't think he would say anything.
I wasn't gonna correct it. Yeah.
Between the mouse and the goblin, I go kind of by height. So
yeah, that's fair.
Since you're on your tiptoes right now, they just assumed.
Yeah.
All right.
The tall one's the priest.
You are standing over by the North Fountain. You are trying to hurl a snake across a fairly long room into a slime creature that's all the way on the other side of the room.
Yeah, that feels right.
I am going to have you roll your damage die, and you need to get a 4 or better. Your damage die is a D4, so
okay, cool. So I rolled
just to see. Okay, yeah, you attempt to hurl this baby talking snake across the room at a slime creature. Which, based on the way that it's yelling at you as it flies through the air, it regards as a pretty uncool thing for you to have done.
Yeah.
You are not very good at throwing things. You spent too much time reading books like a nerd, and you instead get about maybe a third of the way across the room before this snake lands on the ground. Fortunately for the snake, you also lack the strength to hurl it with deadly force. I mean, it is a baby, so it just sort of bounces on the ground and slithers away, muttering about what a terrible, rude person you are, and how it's going to tell people.
Which is in your culture a great compliment.
Yeah, no,
right?
Yeah,
this went really well.
So Tony, I'm curious, Dwiz, you've called upon the goblin for spiritual aid for some reason. I'm
gonna lean
Mary
over.
I'm
gonna lean over to the rest of the snakes. I'm actually they're submerged underwater. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, they've all probably gone down into the water after seeing one of their compatriots.
I'm gonna stick my head down in the water and say, "Hey, y'all, is this totally normal?"
I'm gonna have you make a reaction roll for the party, and given that you are representing a group that just did what you guys did, I'm gonna penalize you by 2 in your attempt to make peaceable contact.
That's
so
fine.
2d6 roll, please.
And I'm adding these together.
Yeah, 2d6 added together minus 2.
It is 10 minus 2 is 8.
Oh, okay. That works out surprisingly well for you then. The snakes are pretty unsure of you, but they will respond. You're apparently good at communicating through water. So that's
it's a talent that I've apparently honed over time.
Yeah, we'll have to remember that. It might become useful later in the session.
Yeah.
One of the snakes gets up the courage to say, I mean, normally people don't grab us and throw us around. Normally we just swim and develop and eat things until we're grown-ups in this little pool.
I just figured y'all would be. Are y'all cold?
I mean, no, we're doing okay.
You're good.
Yeah,
Water.
there's
water isn't that bad.
No, the water's okay.
Yeah. What can you tell me about our friend over here, this slime?
All right. Let me think. So I'm gonna pause right there. I wanna check in real quick with you, Mary. Are you going to allow this? Are you going to pay attention to this slime as he continues to?
I am going to pay attention. I'm going to now that he's just doesn't seem to be hostile. I'm just going to start listening to what he's saying and see if I can make any sense of it.
Then he continues to go off on you. He's I don't know why I'm gendering a slime. They are at this point enjoying the sound of their own voice. They're kind of feeling themselves in this. They're enjoying the preaching.
I'm just kind of nodding and being like,
yeah,
okay.
So long as they feel like they have an audience, they're gonna keep going for a minute. So Tony, remind me what you asked the snakes just now.
I asked basically, what's this slime's deal? Essentially, is he normally like this? I think or are they normally like this? Is what I had asked.
Let me see, because these are babies, so their knowledge,
their whole life,
what's going on.
This slime has been like.
One of them is able to pop out and say, he actually he kicked all of them out. There's twice as many of them here as there usually are, because this slime decided to meditate over in that pool. And that these snakes over here would actually really appreciate if they could use that pool over there again.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll see what I can do about that. Y'all hungry?
Yeah, because we're sharing the amount of bugs that land on the surface of one pool of water.
I take one of the sausages off my my string of sausages and I drop it in the pool. Use that to tide yourselves over. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah,
that should feed all of them.
Yeah, they appreciate that. You've I would say that you've earned yourself a little bit of credit with these baby snakes. And then you wanted to move over to the southern pool.
Yeah.
All right. So it sounds like most of the party has at this point moved down south. Keegan, do you want to join?
Yeah, I'll just follow.
I don't know why I only got Ivy's character's name. Keegan, what's your character's name?
It's just Goblin.
Okay, and then I know that Tony is just Mouse. So
I put Viskers in front of Mouse, so I'm Viskers Mouse.
Okay, Viskers Mouse. Viskers.
Keegan is just Goblin.
My character sheet says Goblin the Goblin, if it makes you feel any better.
Goblin the Goblin.
And then Dwiz, what's your character?
I'm Auntie Fixer.
Right. I made your character. I should know that one.
Thanks. They're doing great for me. I would say Auntie Fixer. I've probably listened to a lot of debate between Viskers the Mouse and Goblin the Goblin on the nature of the universe and our place in it, and kind of gone back and forth between who's my spiritual guide. Right now, the slime is making a great case, and they might be my new lead here, but also my eyes on the prize. And I think I'm going to ask the slime openly, as a someone who has been clearly lacking in my spiritual purity in your eyes. What kind of guidance do you have for me? What steps should I take?
The slime is a little bit taken aback by this, but begins to like so there's a pause in their speech, and they begin to say, well, you're cursed with the sin of fixed shape. Like this is
I think that all the
original sin that might be difficult for you to overcome, but ultimately I think through diligent like meditation and just reflection on the divine formlessness of creation, I think you might be able to gradually shed this sin, if not in this life, then in the next. Just don't die here. Make sure that when you die somewhere else, because like when you die somewhere else, you'll decompose, and that will like gradually be like a becoming of less fixed shape.
Do bodies not decompose here?
I mean, they do, but it's weird, says the slime.
Can you elaborate on that?
I think the slime just doesn't want us to be around when we die.
The slime, the slime has nothing you recognize as like a body or as facial features. So it's peculiar that when you're looking at this slime, you understand completely that it is rolling its eyes in response to the question you just asked. And it says, if you, being the solid form creature that you are, died here, you'd end up like the nerds, the pleasure seekers. You know, you'd end up in a hell where you would never be able to care about improving yourself. You would never. You would lose all interest in becoming pure and formless.
Wait, so when you say here, were you talking about this room or this entire like thing?
I mean, the Holy Land.
Oh.
You know, here and over there and over there, the slime gestures with temporary appendages to the doors on either side of the room.
Okay, that's more convincing. I definitely don't want to be liquefied or jellied or anything during any dungeon I'm crawling, but
as we come up to that conversation, I'm gonna say, I've actually studied a bit. I know this formlessness of which you speak, and I know that even though it looks like we have fixed shapes, there's a bit of formlessness inside each one of us, and I'd be happy to share that with you if you're interested.
Agreed, and likewise.
You know, the party has done a pretty good job engaging with this slime on its own terms, like letting it talk. I'm going to give you a chance, specifically with your thing, Tony, to improve the party's disposition with this guy, which, I mean, it's pretty bad right now, honestly. But
that's fine.
I'm
very excited about you saying that based on what I'm about to do. So, like,
great. So I am going to have you make a DV6 Prez check. So to remind you how that works, you're going to roll a D20. You need to roll above a 6 or below or equal to your Prez attribute.
So I rolled an 11, which is above 6 and below 14. So
okay, so the ooze creature is intrigued by your building on, but also acknowledging the supremacy of their philosophical beliefs.
That's great. So at that point, I pulled down my pants and unleashed some of the formlessness inside of me all over the slime.
Okay. We will make a note that you have pooed.
No. This is pee. This is pee.
Okay.
Oh, great, fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to aim poo. And so I'm gonna demonstrate the fact that even people who have solid forms have some of the formlessness inside them by peeing all over this slime.
Not again.
All right.
I was just gonna do a little bit of illusion magic. That's all.
I am much more convinced by your religious authority, though. I'm persuaded by conviction, and this is a commitment.
Oh, for sure. I'm on board here.
I'm tempted to make this a miracle, but I that feels like a waste at this point in time.
Do it.
I don't know that I need miraculous streams here. Just normal streams should satisfy.
You said you rolled an 11, right?
I rolled an 11.
Okay. So had I known that you were about to do that, I think I would have added 2 to the DV, which would have only made it an 8, so you still would have succeeded. So I think this slime is not familiar enough with the anatomy of solid creatures to recognize this as like an insulting gesture. And instead does perceive it as like an intriguing point that you've made. And at this excellent way, I, cursed as I am by my father's tiny bladder, am going to step away from the camera for a moment. And I will be right back.
Why don't we take a 5-minute break for everybody?
That sounds
with
great.
That said, we'll be back in just a few minutes. If you need to unleash the formlessness within, please do. But while you're doing that, head over to ttrpg.link/yes. On your phone, whatever. It's cool. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
And look at that, we're back in for real this time.
I need to replenish my fluids. People think that this is somehow insulting. I'm just sharing what this slime, what it wants.
It's like that scene in Dune. You gave it some of your moisture, you know?
Some of my formlessness, yeah. And so we are back here playing Sanctimonious Slimes versus Expired Epicurians, an errant adventure. Nick's running us through it and is the creator of said adventure. I just peed on a slime to help embrace its formless philosophy a little bit more intentionally. So, yeah.
So this slime is still kind of agitated about having been, pulled out of its meditation that it was working on. Diluting oneself is not something that can be done quickly or easily. But they definitely think a little better of you now that you've seemed to have expressed.
I'm helping with the dilution. You know what I'm saying? Dilute yourself in that. You know.
We'll confer as a party. I think either we might want to move on, keep probing this dungeon further, or if we think we could ask the slime if it has any advice or directions, guidance on like what else we might find if we continue exploring. If it seems to like you a little bit more now, it might be inclined to be helpful.
The slime. So you guys, you rolled a 3 for your reaction roll, which means that the slime generally will tolerate 3 exchanges. And I'm allowing his long pontificating to count as a single exchange, but you guys are definitely you might be able to like have like one brief back and forth with this guy before he either storms off or like attacks you to get rid of
his pontification is one, my peen was another. So we got one more thing, is what you're saying.
I honestly have a feeling it might be best to move on. I don't think we're gonna get much out of this guy.
Yeah, I do need you to consider diluting somewhere else. You have displaced a number of small children who would like to return home.
I will. Let's see. I mean, we'll give you a chance with that. We'll call it a taking exchange. This is the part of Errant that's the most based on my work, and it's the part that I am the least familiar with. It's terribly shameful.
That's what game design is.
Yeah,
exactly.
I wrote this. I don't remember what I did.
I wrote it down to excise it from my brain.
Yeah, I know that feeling. We'll emphasize to this slime, like, you've been bound by the forms, the constraints of this shape. Go out and stretch your legs a little bit and experiment with the shapes you can take.
So I will I will put that at a 6, a DV of a 6. And we will call it pretty neutral in terms of position and impact. So Tony, you again are the one making this ask. Give me D20 roll. You need above a 6 and equal to or below your prez.
Equal to is fine. I rolled a 14.
Okay. Your prez is 14, I take it?
Yep.
Alrighty. So this slime, it says, you know what? It's going to take so long for me to get back to that level of dilution. Anyway, fine. I have some, there was some. I heard there was going to be some dirty book dissolution somewhere else in the dungeon, or rather the Holy Land. I'm gonna go like get off and do that. And the slime lurches, tumbles out of the basin, and heads off towards the east. I get my east. Fair warning for everyone. I get my east and my west mixed up all the time. Terrible at it. It goes to the east and disappears into cracks in the in the floor. And upon the slime's departure, some of these snakes from the northern fountain leap out and slither across the floor down to the southern fountain, and you know, as they go by, there's a little chorus of like, you know, this the fuzzy one isn't so bad. It's really just that Mary Adelaide fit. No, wait, I'm sorry, it was the goblin who threw.
Goblin, yeah.
The fuzzy one ain't so bad. It's really just the green one that we got to tell everyone is a big jerk.
This is great for me. That's a compliment where I'm from.
Yeah. Do y'all? I know you're young. I know you haven't seen a lot of when you get big enough to leave here. How do you get out of here?
They indicate, you know, this is a very old structure. That there are innumerable like small crevices in the ceilings, in the floors that, you know, they can slither through.
Gotcha. What about people who are bigger?
You know, the dead people mostly use the doors.
Makes sense.
Oh, that would make sense.
I mean, you guys
know
aren't
what?
dead, but I think you mostly work the same.
We should just like check out some of these doors. Just see what's behind them.
I'm not a dead person, and I don't want to do things that dead people do, but I don't see any other.
I don't mind doing things dead people would do. I'm gonna check out the top door on the left-hand side.
Westward.
Mm.
Away
Alright.
from that
Just
slime.
see what's behind it. Yeah.
Okay. So you check out the top door on the left-hand side. So you descend down a small staircase. You know what? Before we go there, actually, no. We'll resolve that first. You head up to the top door on the westward side. You descend down a small staircase, and you have to shove aside a door, and you reveal beyond. Let's see. We'll say you see this corner of this room, and it's really difficult to get this door open. Actually, it opens outward into this room, and something keeps bumping against it as you're trying to open it. It takes some effort to open it enough to see that there is a crowd of people just sort of shuffling through this room. And when I say people, I mean dead people.
There's dead people in here.
Yeah.
I yell back to the snakes, "We found them!"
I will just poke my head a little farther out and see if anyone notices me.
You get a few dirty looks from people who seem like who seem to have needed to like navigate around the door that you've opened.
Okay.
People who didn't need to navigate around the door, they're mostly just sort of like they're glazed, their eyes are glazed over, and they're just walking.
They just are. So are they just walking around like they're just milling about? Or are they
Everyone's
going
moving in
somewhere?
the same direction. Everyone's
Okay.
moving in the same direction. If you see on the map, there's an arrow. Everyone's heading that way.
Do we want to see where they're going or where they came from?
You
I
know,
don't see where they're going.
yeah. Let's. I think we just step into the crowd.
Yeah, we'll just cut in line. And
Yeah.
how do you do, fellow corpses?
I'll do my best I'm dead impression.
I'm gonna climb
There's-
up onto one of their backs and see if I can get a piggyback ride going.
Okay. So everyone does this then. Everyone is going in like at the same time.
Yep.
When you phrase it like that, I don't love our idea suddenly.
This is fine. We're just like, pardon me, ma'am. We'll just try to get through here and.
So I'm gonna have Tony. I'm gonna have you make a DB2 skill check real quick. Tony's making all the checks for this group today.
Perfect.
I rolled a 20.
Oh no! So that's terrible.
Yet
how
I
you know
did
this
it
is-
nevertheless.
That's how you know this isn't D&D, because his 20's bad.
It's bad.
No, you well, describe you attempt to climb up on someone, and they're just going to like shove you off, and you have become separated from the rest of the group. Like so the three of you are you're able to stay in sight of each other, like even in touch distance of each other. Like you could hold hands to not become separated. The door gets slammed shut immediately as soon as you're all through because it's in the way. Tony, you're off somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh no, we've lost sight of our small mouse friend.
I have lost all faith in Visker's religious authority like that.
Hey,
Oh,
yo,
wait,
hey, hey, where'd you go?
I defer to Goblin now.
I would like to try
I
to shove
prefer
my way
Goblin
through
now.
the crowd.
Okay. What direction? Like, what is the intent of shoving your way through the crowd?
I'd like
Are
to
you
try and
going-
shove my way through the crowd towards our mouse friend.
How do you determine what the direction of Mouse Friend is? You've lost them.
Oh no. I
I
I don't know.
I think we should go in the direction of the crowd and just call out in general to like Visker's. Just follow the crowd. We'll meet up later.
I'll hold some.
All right.
Are you sure?
So I don't lose them. But I'll try to peer through all the dead people's legs to see if I can find.
Yeah,
Our
you might
little
have the
mouse
best
friend.
odds there, actually.
Yeah.
So, who all calls out? Is it just Auntie Fixer?
I think it might be best for it just to be Auntie Fixer so that we don't have a bunch of overlapping voices.
Okay, so Auntie Fixer, you cry out once, and all of the undead around you, like give you a like hard smacks, like hey, like what the fuck? We're trying to vibe here. You're making a bunch of racket. So you only take 1 damage from this. I guess I could ask if you want to use a block, but I don't think.
No, that's fine. I deserve this. That was rude.
So like Viskers, you have 1 data point on where the rest of the party is. But unless Dwiz wants to continue taking damage, you're not going to be able to Marco Polo your way through this.
I'll call out as well at this point.
I
I have a lot of hit points.
Well, like I said,
Alright.
I want us to rendezvous at the end point, hoping this isn't just a ring, which is what my greatest fear
I'm
is.
going to assume, right, which Viskers is like, this has got to be a ring. They've all got, we've made 2 turns. I know what's up here, and I'm just going to go forward as fast as I possibly can.
Okay. All right. I will allow, actually. Man, I'm really leaning on making Tony do checks. You've got 1 data point for where the rest of the party is. And you know what? Mary also, Mary, take a damage. You also cry out. So I will say that 2 party members have given you data points for where the rest of the party is. You're also small and nimble. You are better able to move around this crowd than I think most people would be.
Okay.
I will let you pick. Would you like to make a skill check or a mind check?
I would like to make I guess a skill check.
All right. So you attempt to use your nimble ability to move through this group to get towards the people, your friends who called out to you. I would normally have it be a DV8 to get to them, but I will reduce that by 2 for each person who cried out. So Keegan, if you want to auditionally cry out, or you could no,
that's fine. We called
Whiskers
twice.
is on his.
I saw everyone get slapped.
All right. So you need to roll above a 4, or equal to or less than, and equal to or less than your skill.
I rolled an 8.
You rolled an 8. Perfect. All right. You've reunited with the party. The party is now all moving together through this crowd.
Y'all don't go over there. It's weird.
I think you maybe have gone down to about here at this point. So you guys have moved around 2 corners. You have passed a door that you spotted. Is there
getting to it on the other hand?
Yeah. Would you guys? So you've reunited.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do? Do you want to go with the flow and follow and see where this leads? Do you want to try and fight back to that door? Do you want to try and talk to some of these undead, all of whom at this point are like kind of zoned out?
I say we go with the flow, unless anybody else disagrees.
That's what I want to do.
I want to go with the flow. I also want to hold everyone's hands because now I'm worried about getting lost.
The 2 tall ones will each hold your hands like you're a child.
Yeah,
I reach out to take your hand and you just slap it away.
Mary's failed profession is governess, actually. So this is very in character.
That's beautiful. That's great.
Oh my god.
She's got that like Victorian black dress sort of thing on, the like governess sort of outfit.
Yeah.
With a big sword.
You're a violent one.
Or sorry, big pole arm.
Wait, is it an umbrella?
No, it's a pole arm. It's like a Volge or something.
I just didn't know if it was an umbrella also.
That would be great.
So
we see another door coming up.
Yeah, you see another door coming up. You could at this point, this door opens outward. So you could maneuver towards that door and slip out without breaking the flow of everyone moving too much.
Or we could keep going and see if this goes anywhere else.
You could.
Yeah, sure. Let's see what else is in here. I mean, we might as well explore the whole room, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if we just get trapped in this infinite hallway?
That's just how things
As you
might
make
go.
your first loop, we need everybody to make a save because.
So you are indeed in a loop, and you do see one more door that you could slip to if you like, or this honestly, having been like now gone around 3 corners without needing to disturb the crowd, this place seems pretty chill. It doesn't smell great, but
yeah, let's just go around again.
All right.
Does
the
it
party.
look like all 3 of these exits we've discovered would be equally easy to just slip into when we want to make our exit?
Yeah, the ones along the eastern wall that lead back to the first room, those all open into this room. So annoying to open, but the rest of them all open out. So you could slip out of the flow, easy peasy.
Do you want to take that first one that we passed?
Yeah,
Sure.
I think let's do the north one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the party continues to walk with the undead, and you.
As we're walking, I just want to ask the one sitting next to me. So, how long you been in here?
They give you a bit of a dirty look. They're like, listen, I get that you're new to this, but like, kind of the whole point is to zone out. Okay, no one comes here to talk. Like, just imagine we've all got headphones on. Like, you wouldn't talk, you wouldn't go on a bus and talk to someone with headphones.
That's understandable. That's understandable.
Auntie Fixer totally would. I'd take the earphones out.
Auntie Fixer's a criminal.
I mean, yes, it's under my name.
All right, let's head to that door.
Okay. So, oops. Oh, I've created a problem for myself, haven't I?
Uh-oh.
No, it's all good. I can solve anything.
I have
That's
so
very
much faith in
powerful.
your ability to use an eraser.
Oh, you're so close. You did it.
I did.
Is that skeleton wearing a bow tie?
That skeleton is wearing a bow tie. So you slip out of this room and into a room where crates and tables have been shoved into the northeast corner to create a sort of uneven stage. And there are some tables and chairs around the room where I've written 3d12. So, you haven't counted them. It's 3d12. That's, it's an amorphous group of 3d12 epicures sit in small groups, like skeletons and zombies and more mummified creatures. And there is a skeleton up on stage who is indeed wearing a bow tie, and he's telling jokes, and the epicures are enjoying the heck out of them. He's going on. Currently, he's on an extended bit about how epicures that still have meat on them, how they're different from ones that are just bones.
So true.
And how
True.
when they still got meat on them, they believe in gender. Like, what's the deal with that?
Honestly,
I don't
so
know how
true.
to. I don't know how to recognize the distinction of what I'm seeing here, so I take this to be another potential religious leader that I need to listen to.
Of course.
So I said to the group, like, can we stick around? I think this guy's spitting facts.
Yeah.
So I've been terribly negligent, incredibly negligent in having y'all roll for events as you've explored this dungeon. You should probably be on your fifth event die roll at this point. So I'm going to have you roll one now. Keegan, can I have you roll a d6 for me, please?
Yeah. That is a 3.
A 3. Okay. So normally if we were playing Errant in a longer form format, this would be a burn. Your light sources would all go down. This is a pretty light, easy, breezy session. So we're not tracking your torches at the moment. So nothing happens there. Instead, you're just in a room full of some undead enjoying some real solid jokes that don't connect with your lived experience too much, but
are they eating and drinking anything at these tables, or are they're just sitting there watching?
They largely seem to be focused on the on listening to the comedian at the moment. Okay. Let's see. There's probably some booze at the various tables that they're pouring into their mouths and running down their rib cages, maybe rubbing on their teeth or whatnot.
Excellent. I'm gonna get my my cup underneath some of that fallen through booze.
Stick it in the rib cage.
Now to clarify, Tony, you're talking about your religious relic.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I recall, you're a zealot of the Mother of Thousands.
I am a zealot of the Mother of Thousands, which is why that's why I took the time to make sure those poor little snakes got back in their home.
Yeah. All right. I don't think that your god would find this terribly offensive in any way. Yeah, you managed to fill up with some secondhand booze.
Yeah. How is it?
Let's see. It's got a mild bite.
Okay.
It's strong. This is distilled spirits, not an ale.
Nice.
You should
All right.
get
Well,
up
I don't know what y'all are up to, but I'm enjoying a nice beverage.
Yeah, no, this is what Tony has done with this exploration turn. I'm very interested, and we'll go down from here. Keegan, what's Goblin up to?
I'm really just gonna try to convince one of these other two to go up there and do their Type 5.
Oh God!
I think it's an open mic.
I haven't laughed at a single joke, but I am entranced. I am like each of these is a riddle, a koan, and I'm trying to divine like what is the wisdom in each of these jokes.
Mary's just completely nonplussed by all of this. Just
so to clarify,
stone-faced.
if someone wanted to try and do their Type 5, I would not ask you to improvise some stand-up comedy here on stream, but we could do a prez check. We could see if you amuse these guys.
If no one else
does
will do
anyone
it,
take Goblin up on his taunting?
I think the goblin would be the most interesting option.
Yeah, I think when nobody takes me up on it, I'll be like, fine, I'll do it myself.
All right. So do you well, before we get to that, I do want to ask, let's see. You did your attempt to convince Dwiz, you're entranced by you're really paying attention to the bit and you're trying to pull out meaning. Okay. And then Mary,
Mary hates comedy.
Mary hates it.
Yeah.
So are you like if you're not entranced, if you're not enjoying this, presumably you find some other way to occupy the time that Tony is spending drinking and Goblin is spending trying to convince. Like what do you do around this room?
She's just like gonna actually I feel like she's gonna heckle.
Okay. Excellent.
If there's one that really just doesn't land, she's gonna give out a boo.
Okay. So I'm gonna have you.
This is such a bad idea. I don't know why I'm
do you
doing this.
just boo? Like when you say heckle, because
It's just a boo. It's just a boo. It's like
boo.
it's a
So
very
this is like bottom tier.
Oh yeah.
heckling.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. I don't think there's really any chance for anyone to take that well then.
Yeah.
You know what? I will give you a small chance for someone to take that well. I'm gonna have you make a DD10 prez check.
My prez is 10.
Okay, so if you roll a 10 on a D20 right now, you have a 1 in 20 chance of the room agreeing with you.
That's like
I
the
rolled a
average
7.
roll. All right.
You rolled a 7. That's pretty close.
Yeah.
But no one in the room agrees with you. In fact, that was a particular banger. Everyone thought it was hilarious. And there some people start throwing stuff at you. This is your first outburst. So just like some cups and silverware and one surprisingly sharp knife come flying at you from all around the room. I am going to roll damage against you. This group of players, I have rolled a 1. So only one thing hits you. You take 1 damage from it.
It's like a mug.
Yeah. Again, that surprisingly sharp knife hits the wall right behind you. Like
I give whoever threw it at me just a withering glare. I don't say anything else.
It was me, and I look at you apologetically.
I am very upset at that. To me, this is about an exchange of ideas, and these people are very close-minded. They can't listen to to Mary's very important contributions to the spiritual discussion. So I think we need to get out of here.
I think.
Okay.
Well, I want to.
Well, the goblin hasn't done their set.
Yeah, I want to return to Keegan. So Keegan, everyone has now like spent that first segment of time in the room. Do you want to storm the stage and attempt to take over the set? Okay, so you're not waiting until this set is done.
No. I feel like where I'm from, every goblin just sort of runs up on stage and then bombs immediately, and that's just how comedy works.
Okay.
No one has ever successfully did a joke in your hometown. It's just the next.
Well, you see, it's like this anti-humor. I don't think non-goblins understand it.
I am going to cheer at Goblin taking the stage.
I'm going to be so upset about that.
All right. Let me see. So I want to say that this is like it is regarded as relatively rude, and the party has like not endeared themselves to this crowd.
I'm prepared for this to go poorly. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it a DD8 press check.
Cool. Between
so
an 8
again,
and 10.
D20. Yeah, between. So yeah,
it's a 1.
That's a 1. Unfortunately, so yeah, this again goes poorly for you.
They love
it. Everyone's primed to throw things, so I think they just
they all like are ready. They have something in hand.
I'm gonna try to get a chant going of too much meat in the crowd when this happens.
All right.
We're just starting a bar fight. This is just the bar fight game.
So Keegan, you are nowhere near as lucky as
well, of course not.
As Ivy was there. So 9 damage is coming at you. That might be a lot relative to how many hit points you have. I don't know how many that is, but
yeah, I have
probably
9,
a lot.
I have 9 hit points.
Yeah. Now, 0 is not dead in Errant, but you probably want to mitigate that. So if you have any armor, you can use some of that armor's blocks to impair this incoming damage. Would you like to do that?
I don't have armor.
You don't have armor. None whatsoever. Oh dear. And you are a deviant, is that correct?
I'm an occult.
You're an occult. Oh, okay.
Now it's making more sense.
Yes. Okay, so
you got any good spells for that?
You know I don't.
Well, I hope I am not forgetting anything I can offer you by way of mitigating this damage.
No, if I die right here, that's great. Actually,
I was thinking that I was going to be ready to rush the stage and grab him to run for the exit if it didn't go well. And I wasn't expecting it would go well when everybody geared up ready to throw something.
Yeah. Okay, so Dwiz, you are a deviant.
I am. And also my character is a deviant.
Oh, Dwiz.
Now, I don't believe we were to start with armor unless I should have bought some with my money I began with. Because I don't have any armor.
Does no one have armor?
No.
You don't start with armor,
Nobody's
as far as I
armor.
know. I mean, a violent could have a shield.
The violent can have armor to begin with, and that's I think the only person. I mean, Keegan, you do have. I will say, I don't know what's hitting you, and I don't know if he would allow it. You do have diminished objects, so you could make everything coming at you a little bit smaller.
That's fair. I don't think I am thinking that fast right now, though.
Okay.
Again, I'm happy to die here. This does not upset me.
You also wouldn't die. You would
Cool.
be at 0. You said you had 9 hit points?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you'd be at 0, and that's perfectly fine.
Cool.
Dwiz, you... What are you doing to attempt to protect Goblin from this damage?
Essentially, I was just going to run up on the stage, yoink him up because he's tiny and I'm pretty big, and then run off the stage up towards the northwest exit.
Okay.
I might take some of the damage myself, I can imagine, if things are being thrown.
I haven't forgotten about Tony's too much meat chant. I'm just trying to figure out where it fits into this. Like, I think the rushing of the stage, being something you were prepared to do, probably takes place before that. So, I'll run it as a skill check. You were prepared to do it, and you're right. You're big. Goblin is small. So I will call it a DV6 skill check to impair and split the damage. No, just split the damage.
And let me see. I kind of want to use my Jettons on this because that's my thing.
Excellent. Yeah.
And if I understand this correctly, I have a number of Jettons equal to my skill +2. So that's actually quite a lot to spend throughout the session. Let's see. And I guess the thing to do would definitely be a devil's bargain here. Like, come on. So, let's see. I'm going to spend, oh boy, I guess 5 Jettons. Why not?
Okay.
And I'm going to claim that I should be able to rush and grab my buddy and get him off stage real fast without us taking any damage.
Okay. That works for me. Let me review this rule super quickly.
I think it's, I'd roll a d10. I'm trying to get the number of Jettons I spend or lower. And if I succeed, I get, my claim is true. And if I fail, then things are even worse.
Yes. Yeah. So I have rolled my d10. Would you like to? You're spending 5 Jettons?
Yes.
All right.
I did not roll well. I assume I want to roll low because it would be like up to my number. So because I asked for a devil's bargain, I'll take your D10's result.
Okay. So you take my D10's result. And unfortunately for you, I rolled a 6.
Well, I rolled a 10, so it's
yeah. They both equally fail. So it is much worse. What I was going to do is I was going to say that you the two of you split damage between you in a way that that I was going to allow you to pick. Instead, I'm going to say that each of you just take that damage. You each take 9 damage.
Share.
You're gonna save me, and they throw knives at you as well.
So Dwiz, I will like Goblin has already chosen not to do anything to defend themselves. Would you like to use any blocks? I guess you said you didn't have armor. So if anyone would like to have some basic armor, that should be something that was part of character creation. Or we could just roll as is, baby.
I think it's so much funnier to roll as is.
I do think it's funnier. I was gonna start looking at armor, but no, I think it's funnier just going with just clothes.
This is a very clever group of adventurers. I like.
Oh yeah, we're great. We're so good at this. Have we been on an adventure before together?
We've been on what we think was an adventure, but it wasn't actually one.
So Dwiz, how many hit points do you have?
Well, mathematically -2. I don't reckon that's recognized in the errant rules, but
it is. So at this point, Tony, I'm gonna have you make a DV. Let's see. Let's call it DV4 pres check on too much meat. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna make it DV2 because
I did so well up there.
No, because I think a good amount of the crowd might think that it's a chant against the two meaty living people who just.
It is.
That's what I thought it was.
It is. I'm heckling well. Is what I'm
okay, yeah. You know what? DV0 chant.
I rolled a 7, so we're good either way.
All right, yeah. No, the crowd hates them and is chanting against them. Somewhat fortunately, perhaps they've channeled their anger into chanting rather than throwing more things. So no more of that.
When I start hearing that chant go out, can I use my arcane ancestry to try to perform a minor glamour to make myself look more skeletal?
Yeah, you could do that. If you have those rules in front of you, go ahead and navigate that.
Yeah. I rolled a 6, which I think is a failure. Yeah, it's a failure.
Yeah. So you
look plumper and juicier.
Yeah. Mary's also like got a fox-like face. She's a fox demon.
Driz, what's your character's ancestry?
Tough. So I don't know if that I can go to 1 hit point instead of -2. I don't know how that all interacts exactly.
Yeah. So you go to, let's see. You know, my players are actually pretty skilled, so this is something that doesn't happen to me very often.
Wow.
Usually we're not 2 rooms into a dungeon.
I just try to help my friend here. I call out, come on, it's called dialectics. Listen to what he has to say. This is an echo chamber, and then I someone throws a chair at me.
In the chat, there's no negatives. You just go to 1.
So you need to make a Fizz saving throw, with the DV being the damage taken below 0. So currently DV2.
My Fizz is not great, but let's try it out. I failed. I got over my Fizz.
Okay. So I believe that what happens there is that so I'm cross-referencing on the wounds table. Your legs have become mangled. I said that word weirdly. Your legs have become mangled. You can't run.
Oh my God.
So, you know, as you leapt off this stage carrying, you know, even a small person is weight. You know, you twisted an ankle. You can still move, but you're limping. You're not moving it at full speed.
Thank you. I did really well.
You did great, Goblin.
This room is definitely not a place that you guys feel very welcome at the moment. You might want to leave. Do you want to go back somewhere that you know as you flee, or do you want to flee into the unknown?
Let's flee into the unknown. Let's see some
I think
dungeons.
it'd be more interesting.
All right. Wow. Okay.
So we just walk in here, we make a scene, and then we just leave.
Don't forget, I got injured first.
Yeah, that too.
That's a very adventurer.
I had a great time.
Oh yeah, it was great. Fantastic.
You can't tell me that didn't go well for me.
Us adventurers, no consequences for anything we do.
No.
So, you all burst out of the room with some absolutely cutting jokes from the skeleton up on the stage about your, you know, basically everything that you're insecure about in yourselves. Like, this skeleton has latched onto with expert precision.
He's perceptive.
Yeah. For someone without any sense organs, they've got you on lock. You burst out of the room, you know, presumably slamming the door behind you to cut off the cruel barbs of the skeleton on stage, and you find yourself in a hallway with a room opening off the northwestern side of it. This is what you can, you know, I've revealed roughly what you can see from right at the doorway.
I would like to ask Mary if I could use their polearm as a makeshift walking stick or crutch for the time being until violence breaks out.
Yeah, of course. Go for it.
Are you not feeling good?
I've been better. My leg kind of hurts. I was just thinking of easing up on it.
Wait, can you
Limping
heal?
along.
Do you need a little help?
Yeah, if you have another crutch.
Is there, I don't know if is there a full write-up on the on
A full write-up on the Mother of Thousands? No, I am
Okay.
nowhere near that prepared. Are you joking?
No, that's fine. No, you don't need to be. I love the magic. I mean, all of the magic stuff in Errant is some of my favorite parts of the game, and so it's one of the
But
reasons.
Beneficence is relatively, like, it's basically the same across all covenants.
Yeah. So I mean, I think I would be happy to help a little bit of healing, at least on my hairy friend here.
Yeah.
As I move around to look at the actual specific rules for how I do that, because I'd rolled up to look at tough in the quick start guide.
Very strangely, I in my home game, I have 3 deviants. So I have never actually had to run for a zealot.
Yeah, no, it's relatively open as far as miracles go. So if I want to heal people, I can heal people a number of times equal to my renown. So I can heal people. Let's see. My renown is 1, so I can heal you.
Thanks, bud. And you have my full faith at this point. That's the most convincing show of religious power I've yet seen.
Well, to do so, you roll a number of
You're what?
2d6 to start. Rolling more as you level up. You're trying to roll a 10 or higher. If you roll lower, there can be risks up to and including death. More powerful miracles require higher results. Miracles are broken down to levels called liturgies. Blah 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 blah. So I'm gonna roll 2d6. Oh, the good news is I rolled a 6, and the better news is I rolled a 5. So
excellent
11.
for you. So you rolled an 11. Excellent.
Yeah. You said you're hairy, right?
Yeah, covered in it.
Yeah, so I think all the parts of your hair that were manged also pop back in as rat hair. Just so you know.
Did you say rat hair?
Rat hair, yeah, it's a little ratty. Like,
Well,
yeah,
mouse hair. Oh,
no, it's rat. Like, it's
okay.
I am a mouse,
But this is rat.
but it is rat hair.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is I got a major haircut, which is interesting, I guess. You know.
Just in parts.
Do me next. Do me next.
Oh, I can only do that once a day. How inconvenient.
Now, how much does that heal? Is that just be the full?
Your wound is restored, so
Okay.
your leg is no longer broken, and if we weren't doing this on a time scale, I might want to be more specific with the rules. But I will say that, Tony, like you did a first order doctrine.
I can
so
also
roll
read
a
while
D6.
people do other things. Also, too.
Just roll a d6. Dwiz can restore that many hit protections.
3.
Nice.
All right.
Or we can wait till Hella Cheesy tells us whatever the actual answer is.
And then I would actually love if I could get Ivy. Could you roll me an event die, a d6, as the party emerges out into this hallway?
That's 2.
You guys roll it too. Right.
That's the heal to full adventure roll.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Best one.
What do they call it? A hazard die. This is great.
So again, this is one that we will elide for the purposes of running a quick session here. Normally, this would be that the party is all worn out, you have to rest, and that would play into a lot of the timekeeping stuff that we would do in a more drawn out campaign style session. But
I mean, to be fair, I think we are a little worn out.
Yeah,
After
this,
that,
this is
after
definitely a
that.
resting turn for sure.
If people need a rest, this we just rolled one, so
Yeah, I think we do
I
take a
think we
rest
should
here.
take a rest. Yeah.
What does this room that we're at look like, by the way?
Hmm.
The one to the northwest or north. Yeah,
So the party
Northwest,
hasn't you haven't do you want to step forward and move into that room?
I see.
Or do
But
we want to
just
sleep in the doorway?
for anybody out there watching who's worried about the raw, it is 11 HP or injury +1, but Nick's word is law in this situation. So we're gonna go with what we have. But just for all the rules lawyers out there, we got it on the stream as we step into the room.
We should probably step in the room. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with probing further.
Okay. Using a square eraser on a diagonal grid.
Bold.
Get it. Man, in that one corner there, it really helps though.
Okay.
Is that a throne?
That does appear to be a throne, yes. I will now that you all have moved into the room, I will give you a fuller description. So yes, the clear centerpiece of the room is a throne. Oh my goodness. You guys, I'm an absolute fool. I am a buffoon. I am a goofball of the first degree.
Uh-oh.
I wrote this book, and I have failed to mention throughout the whole thing that that frequently throughout all of these rooms, there are meant to be people who have been turned to stone.
Oh.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
do
kind of a
remember
major
seeing them
detail
now that
that
we
we
go.
do.
Now that we
Yeah.
think.
Now that you bring it up,
Yeah, right? Yeah,
I
they
just
There
thought
was
they were
one that all the
statues.
people in
I
the
just
crowd
thought-
room kept walking around.
I just thought some of them were a little slower. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there have been people turned to stone in all of the rooms you've been in. People.
so we
milled
use a
around
mirror to
them.
check around the corner of this
Yeah.
this room before we step in.
Absolutely.
And I
In the
was
previous
leaning,
room, they were probably used to hold up tables, and there was like shelves built into them for drinks and whatnot. In this room, a number of them have been turned to stone in such positions that they can serve as a throne. Notably, the other ones that you've seen that have been put to use, like having shelves built on them and whatnot, were turned to stone in in recoiling or in other more naturalistic positions, and then the whatever use they were put to is after the fact, is used, has to be done with their posture in mind.
right, like this
These-
would make a good coat rack.
Yeah, these appear to have been turned to stone in ideal positions to serve as a throne. And they're kneeling and bent over and standing, all relative to each other on a small raised dais. There are additionally some mildewed tapestries hanging on the wall, and a rough stone floor.
I go sit on the throne immediately.
Damn it.
All right.
Go for it. Go for it. Do it.
Only
That is
because I
good.
was going to.
That is really confident. I am inspired by this.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud.
If we're gonna rest,
Thanks,
you know.
Mom.
I'm glad you got there first, Keegan. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is just roll a d6, just for no real reason.
Okay, yeah. I
Oh,
love to roll
no
a dice for
reason.
no
Sure.
That's a 3?
All right. Yeah. So you walk across the room, you hop up the steps, and you sit on the throne. It is, about as comfortable as you might expect it to be. It turns out, like, sitting on a bunch of, more or less people, it's more about vibes than about comfort.
Okay.
I do have a question. Because these are in ideal positions. What is the part of the body that forms the actual part you're sitting on with your butt?
Someone's back.
Okay.
Mm.
That can't be too bad.
Yeah, I guess it's like the flattest, like large area.
Yeah. Like someone's like in an all fours position, you know, where they've bent their elbows just enough so that their back is level.
And they believe in goblin supremacy,
Yeah.
And they have very good posture.
Yeah, and somebody else is throwing it back so that you get that good lower lumbar support.
Exactly. I mean, as you can tell from the art, the armrests are butts.
You can tell that. I'm putting it back on the stream. You can tell that. Yeah, now that I'm on the throne, I am thinking the throne is a little too big for me. This was probably like a human-sized throne, and I'm in canon the shortest person here. But I do have the spell Diminish Objects.
Goblin, do you think it wise to use your great miracles in such a way?
Yes.
Well, you're the authority.
All right. So would you like to use your sorcery?
I absolutely would.
Do you know how to do that, Keegan?
I absolutely do not.
Again, I run 3 deviants. So we'll review that rule real quick. You can cast sorceries, blah, blah. 2 actions.
Let's see if Hella Cheesy gets to it first.
You may make a mind check with a DV equal to your stabilize value. At level 1, your stabilize is 8, plus your encumbrance. If you succeed, you may safely cast the sorcery again. If you fail, your prepared sorcery becomes unstable. So since this is the first time you're casting today, that is not an issue. You can cast it. You can diminish this thing. You do need to make a check. So D20 above an 8 and below your mind attribute, please.
Okay, cool. That was above my mind attribute.
Well, so that spell slot is now unstable. You can cast from it again, but things are much more likely to go wrong if you attempt it again.
That doesn't bother me. I've shrunk the throne.
So the throne is your target, the entirety of these 6 stoned bodies.
Yeah.
So it is diminished to a size that is more appropriate for a goblin.
Now I'm comfortable. We should rest here.
Yeah, let's rest. Let's rest for a turn. That sounds good.
You know, now that the throne is perfectly sized for you, Goblin, you notice that just sort of naturally your hand has found some little divots in it where there are these are like there's like buttons here.
Do you want to explain where the buttons are for me?
Did you ask me to explain where they are?
Yeah. Just because I know what the arms of this throne are.
Yeah, no, they appear to have been, I mean, it's kind of grisly, but they appear to have been carved into the stone that was formerly a person's butt.
Perfect. I think we should rest and then I'll hit this button, but I will tell everybody it's there.
So the party wants to take a rest in this room. Does everyone move into this room? Does anyone? I guess rather than present it that way, like Keegan Goblin, you've done a thing. I should ask, like, do other people want to engage with this room in any particular way? Tony, like, is there something here that
is it just the stone throne with some other stone people theoretically standing around the room?
There's some other stone people standing around the room. There's some mildewed tapestries in here. There's the floor in here is additionally like kind of rough, like cobbled almost.
Okay. What let's ask a real quick question. Is it just 1,000 butts?
Oh no.
Okay, it's
No,
not just 1,000 stone
1,000.
butts sticking out of the ground.
I was not even following you there. You know what? I will say though that enough of your attention has been diverted to the floor that 3 pressure plates are obvious to you. These are not really like if these were hidden, 800 years ago, they're pretty obvious now.
Okay. They're like the only smoothish part of the ground. And
Yeah.
it's not 1,000 stone butts. Gotcha. I will, while being mindful of those and saying nothing to my compatriots, walk around the room, taking in these moldering tapestries.
They depict a young, vivacious-looking Medusa as she offers blessings to people who are good and righteous and offer obeisances to her, and she turns those who displease her to stone.
Interesting. Well, I'll just make a note on that to not displease her. Yeah, can I'm just gonna kind of take in the length and width of the room as I'm doing this. Could we maybe see what is on the other end of the hallway down there? Does it go down further, or
Yeah.
is it
You can definitely like step out here, take a good look down the hallway. I think that would take up. I don't know why I'm looking at that book. I'm supposed to look over here. That would about take up your turn, but it is a pretty lengthy hallway. You have really good dark vision. Wow.
Yeah. I have dark vision.
You're able to see like there's a corner there.
I can see around the corner a little bit. That's how good my dark vision is.
Absolutely marvelous. And then what is Mary Adelaide Finch getting up to?
I'm probably just gonna help look around the room a bit.
Okay.
Or rests as well.
Yeah. Well, we'll rest on the next turn. I'm just curious, like, but if you're not interested in like doing anything novel, then like we can move on to Dwiz. Is there anything you would like to do?
No, I was mostly conferring with Goblin and about the throne and everything. At least until such a time as when we meet this Medusa, who I assume will outrank him. But
okay,
very fair.
So the party like spends some time resting. Normally, I would ask if anyone wants to use armor repair kits to repair their armor, but no one has armor, so everyone takes some time to rest. Goblin, how much of the time do you spend during this rest? Do you leave the throne at all?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay, all right. So let me see. I'm gonna have both Ivy and Dwiz. I'm gonna have you make DD10. Let's do mind checks. So you need to roll a D20 above a 10 and equal below or equal to your mind.
So my mind is 9.
My mind is 6.
All right. I will in that event I will say you each have like a roll a D20. Attempt to roll your mind skill.
All right.
Nope.
Nope.
All right. Well,
Mary, you got anything?
Nope. We're dumb as bricks.
Your devious mouse person party member for some reason did not warn you about the pressure plates that he saw. So each of you during this rest activate them.
Yeah, I just lay my bedroll onto one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And some like in retrospect, obviously hanging up there, like iron cages come like falling down from the ceiling and land with just cacophonous clangs around each of you.
Watch out for those.
I love the idea that this happens to Fixer, and then Mary's like, "We can deal with that after I rest." Then Mary, lays out the bedroll and same thing. Like, all right, well, shit.
Fixer, do you still have my polearm?
I think I gave it back to you when I was feeling better about my leg.
Okay, good.
So because of this noise, I am going to have you roll the event die with a -1. No, wait, I'm sorry. I'm going to give you a negative event die. The game has tools for the things that I need to do. I'm going to have you roll a negative event die. You're going to roll 2 event die, and we'll take the worst of the 2. So I think we're down to Dwiz at this point, rolling d6s, please.
All right. I got a 1.
You got a 1. All right. You know, it's really about time that we had an encounter in this dungeon.
On that?
That seems
Well,
ridiculous.
We had an
my
encounter.
impression
It was with
is
a
that
bunch of comedians.
the deadliest thing that can happen is stand-up comedy in my world.
God
Despite
forbid.
being a lifelong criminal, I am unaccustomed with these sorts of nasty, violent things at all.
This is the room we all die in.
All right, so 6 Epicures come stumbling into the room. Actually, you know, given your recent your recent experiences in the comedy club, it probably matters which direction they come from. They might have predetermined opinions about you. So I'll roll 1, 2, 3 is from the north. All right, they come from the south.
All right, so
These
there's a chance
have
we
never
can
seen
joke
you
with them.
before.
Good.
There's a chance you could joke with them. I will note that from the way that these 6 undead are stumbling and slurring their and mumbling to each other, they appear to be inebriated in some way. It's unclear how a skeleton gets inebriated, but the 2 skeletons that are in this group definitely blitzed off their asses, or their patellas, I should say. This group also, between them, has a number of hammers. And as they stumble into this room, one of them is like smashes the arm off of a statue that is up against the wall, and they all start cracking up. And like they wave their hammers in the air. They're like, statue smashing. They're engaged enough in their activity that I will give you all an opportunity to tell me how you would like to respond to them entering the room.
The two of them are in cages. 2 of us are in
We're
cages.
in cages, right?
Yes, 2 of you are in cages.
Lovely.
Yeah.
The way my ass is glued to this throne.
I'll call for help immediately. I'm like, hey, smash this cage. It looks real brittle. It'll be awesome.
I'm just gonna walk over and be like, hey, y'all, people are trying to sleep here.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna have you 2 make opposed pres checks to see which one of you, like, because this group is inebriated enough that I feel like they're just gonna ignore one person who talks to them. They only have enough mental energy to focus on one line of conversation. So I'm gonna have, how do you do opposed pres checks? I'm gonna have each of you roll a d20, and we will compare the difference between the result and your pres.
Cool. I mean, I rolled 14 and my pres is 14.
So
I
all
rolled a 1 and my pres is 9. I don't know if
all right, no, that is the superior. That's better. That's good. So you
I the religious authority now.
they, you know, apparently Tony's mousy demeanor or accent, maybe they're prejudiced against whatever accent that was.
They heard me and they looked and just couldn't. I was down here. They couldn't.
Yeah.
Me.
This is actually pretty fortunate. Because Dwiz has given them something to smash that might be fun. And that really seems to be the mode that they're in. So they look at the iron cage and they're like, yeah, you know, smashing that could be pretty fun. And they all raise their hammers and charge en masse at this iron cage. I'm going to say that they have a 4 and 6 chance of busting it open. Dwiz, roll a d6 for me.
4.
A 4. Perfect. That's exactly what's needed. So they wail on it for a moment, and for you, it's deeply unpleasant. All of these hammers, this cage that you're in the middle of, it is noisy AF. But they do knock it apart enough that you could get out of it. They keep hitting it and don't seem to be interested in stopping in like enough for you to get out safely. But do you want to try and scurry out?
What I'm going to do is my weapon is a hammer, the one that I used back when I was a barrel maker. I'll withdraw my hammer and I'll suggest to them, now let's go get that other cage.
Okay. I think that they're enough engaged in this that I'm not going to make you roll for that at all. I think that they are on board. They're like, yeah, and you join them. You all roll over there with the benefit of an additional hammer. You don't even need to roll. You get Ivy free. Ivy, were you attempting to sleep? Because this is
at this point, yeah, I think that'd be funny.
Well, then the undead. Like one of them starts making a joke about here's your wake up call, and then they all pick it up. They're like wake up call, and they're all pounding on the cage with their hammers. They bust it open. You might want to leave the cage. It doesn't.
Yeah, Mary just kind of like shoves past them, trying to avoid the hammers.
And if I can,
enjoy your cage.
I'm joining the hammering, but I'll try to like reach in to help pull you out.
Perfect.
Maybe a little bit of an opening for you. I do feel powerful. I have followers now, at least momentarily.
We could probably just keep these guys with us.
We could send him to the comedy club.
As long as all you need to do is demolish things, I feel like this is the crew.
I just feel like that stage could be taken down.
So they're focused enough on destroying this cage and just like hitting it until it is a pile of bars. That again, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to like act within this situation without them being like paying attention to you. They're not paying attention to you right now. What do you want to do?
I'm really curious about those buttons on the chair, personally.
I'll hit a button.
All right. Let's see. Dwiz, you're with these guys hammering on the cage. Ivy, I've completely.
I'm with Dwiz.
All right, so you're with Dwiz. Tony, you walked over and talked to these guys as they entered the room. What have you been up to as your you've been ignored and they've gone around the room hitting cages?
I'm just gonna, I guess, if we're just knocking things, I'm gonna go check out one of these doors. I'll check out the door on the if I was facing the throne, to the left of the throne, so the southwest side of the room, I believe.
Okay. All right. So Goblin hits one of these switches, and a massive puff of like a gray gas like flies out of the butts of the throne. And I need everyone to make a saving throw. Let's see.
If I get farted to death, I'm never gonna forgive you.
Well, Goblin, you don't need to. You're on the throne.
Oh, cool.
You're the only one who's Tony. I'm going to say that you get a bonus on your saving throw because you're pretty offside.
Okay.
But everyone else is kind of like right in the blast zone.
Not in the blast zone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
remember, this was your idea.
We will.
Oh yeah, it was my idea.
Yeah. We'll call this a fizz check. We'll call this a fizz check with a. It'll be.
Oh, good. Something I'm actually good at.
DV6 for everyone else. For you, Tony, it'll be DV4, and I will make it for the Epicures.
So I rolled 1 over my fizz.
All right.
Oh, I rolled my fizz exactly. I had a window of 2.
Success.
I had a 16 fizz, and I rolled over it.
I rolled a 7. I'm good.
Good.
Wow.
Damn, I hear someone else's stats. I'm like, damn, my highest number is an 11.
The first stat I rolled, I was like, wait, every die is a 4. Okay.
The D20 I was just rolling has some kind of phenomenal curse on it, where I rolled 6 saving throws, and in there were 2 20s and 2 1s. All failures. So all of the Epicures have failed. Ivy, you failed. Dwiz, you succeeded. Tony, did you?
Viskers succeeded also. Yeah.
All right. So, Ivy, I will describe to you that you find yourself like slowly becoming paralyzed.
Oh no.
You are fully aware of yourself, but you remain upright. Like your body doesn't like lose tension. It in fact becomes very tense.
Mhm.
The undead likewise all end up stuck in mid-swing postures, which wild considering that a lot of them don't have respiratory systems.
I mean, I'm gonna try to just shake Mary a bit, you know, being like, "We told you to wake up, wake up, wake up." They're kind of
Oh,
right.
no.
I love it. I love it. I love it. This is an excellent way for you to find out that Mary is completely posable while being
lovely.
paralyzed in this way. Perhaps suggesting how this throne was possible. So you shake Mary, and her limbs like move relative to your shaking, but she does not regain control of her body.
Should I press a different button?
Can she speak? Can her face
That's a good
move, or is
question.
that equally?
Yes,
paralyzed?
you can absolutely like through like your tongue doesn't work so good.
Oh, okay.
But you can go you can talk again, and you can understand a little bit.
This is very, very strange.
I'll hit a different button.
Yeah, how would you all
Yeah.
like to assist your friend Mary out of this predicament?
Can I have to
Just hit a different button.
Yeah, I'll hit
can
the
I
button on
play
the other
cloth with
side.
Mary?
Would Tony and Dwiz like to be in different positions?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I was already checking out the door. I just moved. I'm like, you know what? The door behind the throne seems good.
Yeah.
But I check for butts first. Are there any butts pointed behind the throne?
There's no butts pointed backwards.
Oh yeah.
Which is usually the way butts point. But
It is, but you know what? It's fine.
I'll try to lift Mary over my shoulder and bring him behind the throne.
well, I think the idea the goblin has is that hitting a different button
Might shoot a different fart out that gets Mary
yeah.
walking again.
might free Mary from this.
Okay, I'll ask Mary. Do you consent to being farted on by something else?
Yeah, let's
All right.
see what happens.
Hopefully,
I set you up in
it's
front of the
just
other.
a fart.
I set you up in front of the other fart. I like position you so you're like T-posing, like perfectly ready to receive.
Open Mary's
And
mouth.
then
We want to get the fart in there.
And I go behind the throne, and I'm like, "All right, we're all clear for the blast."
I can't give a thumbs up or anything.
I mean, Liz can thumbs up for you.
Goblin
Ah,
reaches
okay, good.
down.
Yeah. I placed a thumbs
So
up
Goblin-
on your hand.
hits a different button on this and releases exactly the same smoke.
All right, let's try another button. I'm gonna try every single button on this throne, maybe all at once, just to make this easy
Yeah.
for you.
Oh no, we're killing Nick.
You play them. You play it like an instrument. They all make slightly different tones.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'll play When the Saints Go March again.
So in my head there was 3 buttons. All the buttons shoot out this smoke. So you've hit the 3rd button, and again, the same smoke.
Great.
Okay, that didn't
Well,
do it.
The undead have been hit 3 times by this, which
So
maybe we just see when this wears off.
We were going to rest anyway.
we were resting anyway.
Yeah, it's relaxing.
You should open that door you were going to open, though, Tony.
I do think finishing the rest is probably a good idea. I think we should go pose Mary in her rest for the night. And we can are these undead were skeletons, or did they have some meat on them?
There was 2 skeletons in the group, and then the other 4 were meteor.
Or meteor. Yeah. I think we just pose them as a barricade in the hallway.
Perfect.
Going down the long way that we don't have.
And we'll make sure we
protection
pose them so they're making like a shh kind of gesture. So any other passing by, we're like, oh, okay.
We'll interlock a couple rib cages in a way that's not immediately easy to just push through, and
Beautiful.
and then
Beautiful.
finish right.
One of
All
them's
right.
got a leg kicking up. Something like that.
You guys take a nice long rest, and I'll have let's see, we're back up. Keegan, I'll have you roll an event die.
Okay, that's a D6 again?
D6, yes, please.
Cool, that's a 4.
A 4. All right. So that as you guys are resting, you all of you hear a very faint, sort of grinding voice that like you probably wouldn't be able to hear at all if you weren't all like being quiet as you tried to rest, which
When you said a faint grinding, my initial thought was, oh, it's that one room you told us about before the stream. And,
no, not that room. That room's not quite so quiet. It says, itch, itchy, 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 itchy. It's right there, but I can't reach it. It's maddening. This eternal itch. This whisper just sort of like floats through the air, and like you're not quite sure if you heard it or if you thought it.
Oh God, is it the chair?
And anyway, you have a lovely little rest. It actually doesn't take that long for this old weak poison to wear off. Let's see, like you did get 3 doses of it, so I guess probably like around an hour. The Epicures, they find the way that you handled that situation really amusing.
Glad they're happy drunks.
Yeah. Yes. So they're amused by your antics. They're like, you guys are great, and they wander off down to the south. Sort of 3-legged walking in some cases where their ribs haven't quite come undone yet.
One of them too drunk to properly walk anyways, so it's kind of a courtesy.
Yeah, they're leaning on each other real hard.
Yeah.
We took a rest. Do we get health or anything like that back on a rest? Asking because
not on
0.
Not on this kind of rest. No.
Okay, cool. No worries.
what do you think this is? 5th edition?
I gotta check. I'm doing my due diligence.
I mean, if you guys had armor, this kind of rest could allow you to use armor repair kits to restore.
All right,
blocks,
we get it. We should have had armor.
Whose fault is it that we
kind of
didn't have armor?
Okay, you know what? I was working on making y'all pre-mades. And then Ava said, Nick, don't worry about that. I'll finish those.
So it's Ava's fault we don't have armor.
I'll
We
take
are-
I'll check the southwest.
We are level 1 errands. This is totally normal.
It's totally normal. Yeah. I mean, I'm fully intentional. I think she wanted to see you guys die. The southwest door. Okay. Move my window here.
If we go through that door, I have to get off the throne finally.
Is that a fate you're willing to accept? Getting off of the throne?
I suppose.
I mean,
listen.
You can wait.
You are
here,
free
we'll come
to
back in
retire
here.
your character.
Yeah.
Retired the character because I just wanted to sit for the rest of the adventure. Just
I
come
mean,
back for me.
honestly, like that's some vibes. Like,
Yeah, I've quit jobs over last.
Keegan never does anything for the vibes, so I wouldn't expect that to be unattractive.
Yeah, that's fair.
okay. So, whee.
Okay.
This floor has some texturing.
It does have some texturing, and you may notice that that there's some stairs leading down there as well, leading down into the next room. So you come into this room, down a short hallway, and there's some stairs leading down, and the room is filled with stagnant water. It smells awful in here. Just real rancid. There are bugs buzzing around. The water is like murky and standing and gross. There are some like rugs that are like floating on top of the water that like they're weighed down by the weight of mushrooms growing on top of them. This room is absurdly filthy. I like, you would be unwise to touch this water without taking precaution.
Hey, Mouse.
Wanna go somewhere else?
Yeah, I jump in.
Excellent.
Mouse, try drinking it.
What I would really like to do, just because why not? And I haven't yet. Can I
Get a bottle of it?
can I become Swarm?
Let's see. I mean, you're a zealot, so like, yeah, I think that's well within the realm of miracles that you could perform. One of the Mother of Thousands eminences is vermin.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you could become a swarm.
I just want to mingle with all the things in here for a little while. Become Swarm.
What kind of swarm do you want to become?
Hiding your mice.
I can't just potpourri Swarm. I can't just be like one of each of Mother's favorite children.
I don't think that's a swarm.
That's a fair argument.
Be pleased.
Let's see. It's a wet space. Yeah, rats and mice would probably be a bad choice in here.
Yeah.
Like there are many. There's bugs all over the place.
Yeah,
like,
I think some sort of winged beetle-like creature is probably a swarm of somethings.
let's see.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and put, I think, 3 favor into this because this feels like it's a little bit above my normal thing.
Yeah, I would call this a second doctrine. So, in order to fully succeed, you would need an 11 or more. Apotheosis still only occurs on a 1 to 3.
Okay, so I've got 4, 5 plus 3 is what, 7, 12?
All right. Yeah, you transform into a swarm of things. You can mingle and move about the room in a way that you please. We'll stay focused on you for a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the swarm's just kind of checking it out. I mean, doing a general sweep of the room, and interacting with other swarms and vermin folk as I come across them.
So let's see. There are a number of adult snakes that are like relatively small snakes, but living in the water, and in crevices, slithering along crevices in the ceiling. If you've ever seen the way that snakes can like really go up walls by like getting themselves into nooks, there's quite a bit of that going on around. Let's see, you've described a beetle, which doesn't strike me as something that would be super comfortable going into water.
What if
It's like water beetles?
Yeah, like I mean, I think I was picking one, like beetle was just more of a general suggestion of structure and shape than it was prescriptive of the exact type of insect I was intended to be. But yeah.
Okay. All right. So you want to be a creature that could like explore in the water a bit.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. So I will tell you that like you can like look at that very briefly and recognize that there will be some danger to you in exploring the water in this form, because the water is filled with things that are here to eat the bugs that are attracted by the water.
Well, the good thing about being a swarm, and like I know this will have repercussions on the other side, is there's a lot of me, and so we'll send
a single beetle,
4 or 5 of me down there to check it out.
Okay, all right. I will have you make a let's call it a skill saving throw. And it'll be DD6. So between 6 and
it's a 9.
A 9, perfect. So you are able to get a pretty good look at what's going on down there without getting eaten and having part of yourself consumed. And you notice one that there's all sorts of detritus down here, including a good amount of money. That is just sort of like sitting on the bottom of this murky water. That it's like a wishing well. There's just like tons and tons and tons of coins here that are like anyone could grab them if you just have the courage to go in and start scraping the bottom. Additionally, there is like there's like a mound of things that have that appear to have been like pulled together and accreted right at the center of the room. And the floor down here does seem to slope towards that point just a little bit.
Cool.
I think
it's a mound of stuff. That's what I've got. Like it's just a lot of detritus, or is it?
Yeah, like it's like the stuff that is in your sink drain. Hello. Where it's like, presumably at some point you would have known what it was, but now it's an amorphous goop that is preventing your.
I was making sure it wasn't the abstracted something like, oh, you'll need to get closer to figure out what it is. It is literally just a bunch of scuzz.
Yes.
Cool.
And this liquid so far has been very liquidy, not very oozy or slimy.
No, not slimy at all. It's definitely water.
I think we're on the Epicurean side of the dungeon then.
By the way, Tony, did you tell anyone?
No, they were like, jump in, and I was like, okay, and I jumped at the water and turned into a swarm of insects along the way.
Oh my god, did you guys see that?
I think he died.
Apparently this water transforms you into bugs. That must be why this room is filled with so many bugs, everybody.
Come on in.
I don't think I want to be a bug.
I'm just gonna see what you make out of here, See what you make out of this place.
I crawl into a shape on the wall that just says money with a downward arrow, using the many shapes of myself.
Well, that is what we're here for, theoretically.
You don't have to tell me twice. I take a dip.
All right. Let's see. You're a creature filled with hair. Okay. I think you still.
That's like made of hair.
Yeah. I think you're still prone to dysentery as anyone. So I'm gonna have you make a DV2 saving throw.
I love to be prone to dysentery as anyone else.
Do you consider yourself more or less prone?
Me personally, more.
Yeah. Your character?
Goblin probably less.
Okay, I rolled a natural 1.
All right, so it's gonna be
We're killing it
uncomfortable
with
for
these
you
rolls.
a little bit later. Yeah,
I have
it's,
not succeeded on a single roll yet.
I mean, I don't know what you guys are doing wrong.
it's just easy. You just roll the right numbers.
And I will point out, I've made a lot of checks.
Yeah, you have. I have to be
All right,
less
so
brave.
so Dwiz, dysentery. Like I'm not a medical professional, but I'm pretty sure it's not an immediate onset disease.
Sure.
You're gonna have some issues later on in this campaign. Which oh look, it's a one shot.
We don't have to deal with the consequences.
Oh,
Right?
right.
That's why I usually don't run these. But yeah, later you're gonna have a bad time. For now, though, you're about waist deep in murky, fetid water, and you feel coins beneath your toes.
I fully submerged to rummage around and retrieve as many coins as I can with my,
All right.
my breath held.
So this is going to take Dwiz a little bit of time. What is like Ivy and Keegan? What are your characters get up to?
That rug has like mushrooms on it.
Yeah.
This rug's with mushrooms on them.
Yeah.
And it's way out of reach, even with my pole arm.
They're drifting around a little bit. You probably couldn't, but like you have someone in the water who could push it to you.
I don't even know if we want the mushrooms though. Mushrooms in dungeons tend to be bad news.
Or great.
Yeah.
Or
Great.
eat them, yeah.
You do have a goblin.
this is the bad decisions, no consequences squad.
Look, someone's already got dysentery. Feed him to them first.
So I'm gonna ask our friend who's in the sewage already if you could just kind of like nudge that mushroom raft over towards me.
I lift a thumb like up out of the water, like my whole hand, give you a thumbs up, and I'm gonna try to reach over and get that the rug closer.
You know, there's nothing special about these mushrooms in the text. However, every single group I've ever run this dungeon for has immediately tried to consume the mushrooms growing off of the rugs in this weird fetid water room. I might need to throw something into this book before
To be fair,
publication.
it's the clear thing
I
to
think
do.
you should.
That's the thing, Nick. You should know by now. If you put mushrooms in an adventure at all,
You're going to
like,
I'm actually wondering if I did at some later point and have forgotten because man, players love putting mushrooms in their mouths.
because you've described foliage of other kinds. Plant matter is of no interest to adventurers. Fungus is where it's at.
Yeah.
There's a whole book about it.
Yes.
Very fortunately, I do, as part of this book, have a table of grotesque mutations. So you know what?
Good.
Roll a d12.
I'm gonna eat
for
one.
me.
Yeah. I got a 3.
You got a 3. You have gained X-ray vision.
Holy shit! All right.
You have
Eat it,
you have-
open your eyes,
hold
and
on,
just see.
one moment. You have additionally lost normal vision.
You can only see us as bones. I love this.
That's really. I can't tell the difference
It's gonna
between you and the
be-
skeletons.
I was just gonna.
Well, it's my height, isn't it?
Also, would you can see through our outsides, but if you're looking at a skeleton with X-ray vision, do you still see bone? Because wouldn't it be a consistently dense form of matter?
Yeah, I think. Wow, I apparently need to know more about how X-rays
I think.
work.
I mean, if the
It's
hit
colloquial
TV
X-ray.
show Bones taught me anything, it's that you still see them on X-rays.
Mm.
But you know what?
So-
Never do I find myself Googling more interesting scientific facts than when I play Dungeon Crawls.
With my brand new X-ray vision, can I just like look around? Do I see anything cool in the water?
Nothing that has not yet been described. You see the coins down there now. You can
I can
maybe,
point them
like,
out.
Yeah, you can help navigate Dwiz around the the environment. But so Keegan, like,
I'm just enjoying the sights and sounds and smells.
Okay, so you are the least goblin of this group right now.
Everybody else did the thing I wanted to do, and Goblin's gonna be. They're not pouting about it, but they're like, "No, just enjoy the room. That's fine." Oh, you got X-ray vision? That sounds good. I didn't eat them. And now I don't want to eat them.
You want one? You want one?
No, it's fine. It's already your thing.
No, come on. You gotta have one. Just one, right?
No, it's fine.
What if we peer pressure you into it?
I'll have one too. Well, we can all have one.
Come on, everyone's doing it.
I'm gonna pretend to eat the mushroom, and I'm gonna cast Hide Biota, which includes flora, fauna, and fungi. So it looks like I gave into the peer pressure to eat this mushroom, and I instead didn't.
So you're just causing it to become invisible.
Yeah.
Okay. I am still going to have you make a prez check to see how good you are at miming the it's not a simple thing to mime eating and casting a spell to make it invisible.
Yeah, don't worry. I rolled a nat 20 for that. That's good.
Okay, so your deception is obvious to everyone in the party.
I'm underwater, and even I could tell.
I'm chanting.
We see you with one hand wildly gesticulating, trying to chant, and then shoving a mushroom in front of your face.
Yeah.
There's some eyes rolling back involved or something.
It glows for a moment. Yeah, it's very obvious that I'm casting a spell.
You good?
Yeah, I can see through everything now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm having fun.
Dwiz, did you eat one?
When I get up out of the water with whatever my haul of treasure is, I'll take a mushroom and chow down while I count out the money.
Yeah, it's a great time to.
I wonder what would happen if we smoked these. Actually,
Are you my new religious leader?
How's it going, Mouse?
I'm having fun. I'm swarming around.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm going to try to chat with some of the other bugs in here.
So, Dwiz, you have recovered 3,000 pennies.
Oh my god.
That's so many pennies. Individually.
It is many pennies. Some of them are represented by silver and gold.
No. It's 3,000 pennies. We've spent
you know
some
what?
time.
You're also stuck in this room now because of the amount of pennies that you have on your person.
How many can you even carry?
100 to a slot.
Oh god.
To a slot.
300.
But the party has spoken. They're all pennies though. I am not going to gainsay Ivy.
To be fair, we don't really need the money because it's a one shot.
So Tony, in conversation with the bugs, you learn a lot about the local politics of where different groups of bugs are allowed to buzz, and who is pollinating with whom. I don't know a lot about entomology. You learn a little bit about where they're about some of the snakes and where they're bugs who've died recently. You learn about a little bit about some of the surrounding rooms, notably that the room to the behind the double doors, people can't the bugs they don't like going in there. It's creepy in there, which who knows what bugs find scary. They're living in a place where they get picked off by snakes every time they try and go eat. But for some reason, this room is particularly unsettling to them. Additionally, there is a room nearby where they say that there's like a like a big like puddle of something that's like that they're like, some of the bugs that eat from that though, they get weird. They start talking in like human language, and they start putting on airs, and they leave.
Is it slime? The slime that turns you sanctimonious.
I'm immediately interested in what happens if all of my selves eat some of that slime in one form. But they're great details. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Do we want to?
There are stairs up out of the water in front of the single door on the south side of the room. What is in front of the double door? Do the double doors go down into the water?
The double doors are at the level of this room, so yeah, like they're partially submerged.
Do they open inward or outward?
They open outward.
I know you mentioned that the room slants down. If you were to open those doors, would some of the water rush out of this room?
The room slants towards the center.
I know. That's what I understood.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. But are the doors perfectly? Is the edge of the room at the top of the water level, or does the water level go up at all above where those doors are flush with?
It doesn't go up above, so it seems like the water level is probably equalized between. Like there's enough holes.
No, I was just curious. So, whether basically is opening those doors going to immediately alert whatever people are in that room to the fact that there's a ton of water around their feet. I
mean, they're big doors, but it might be hard to open them without alerting someone inside.
I'm gonna ask the bugs to get into that creepy room.
I mean, the bugs, they think you're crazy, but like they can definitely indicate some pathways that bugs can take that would lead into that room, and in your bug form, you're free to go off and do that.
I'm gonna start creeping that way.
Okay, I will very briefly ask if anyone else has anything that they want to do before we split the party.
No.
All right. I know we're coming up on time here. So Tony, your bugs head down into some of these crevices here.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
So you enter this room, and it is ominous. It is like there's just a vibe in here that's bad. Again, there's this fetid water, like throughout most of the room, and there's like all of this this furniture that like clearly at one time was like very fine furniture, like silk divans and whatnot. It's moldering. It's like half floating, and at the far end of the room is a small raised dais.
I love daises.
I know. They're such a D&D standby.
They're so good. You gotta have a dais.
Yeah. On which there is a woman reclines. She is emaciated. She is like she looks horrible. And from her head are 12 snakes that like these 12 pythons, like they're taking up the whole of her skull, and they are so massive that her head seems to be like weighed down against the pillow by them. Like she's like slowly rasps breath in and out of her body, and the snakes, like within a foot of coming out of her skull, have like doubled in circumference. These absolutely massive serpents like disappear then into to nooks in the walls, and they're moving about in the room and in the water in here.
So she looks emaciated. The snakes are really big. Did they look healthy?
The snakes look incredibly healthy. The snakes look like they've taken all of her vitality.
I spell out sup on the wall.
Presumably you do this in the Medusa's line of vision. Yeah. There's like a small flicker of recognition in her eyes, that like she's looking at something, but much more quick to react to this are the snakes, who like there's a chorus of hisses that shoot back and forth between them, and I think you hear some like language content in the sounds that they make, like that they are that they're like like it's some sorcerers present. They perhaps do not recognize your magic as God-given. They're like, it's a sorcerer. There's a sorcerer here. And one of them lashes out at you. I'm gonna have you make a saving throw, see if you can actually, you know what? No. That's not how we're gonna do this. They're attacking you.
That's fine.
I don't think that you really expected this to happen. So I'm going to say that
I mean, as a character, who knows? As a player, it's 100% what I expected.
Yeah.
But
there's 8 damage coming at you.
Okay.
Would you you don't have armor, so
I mean, a beetle, like, they gotta have a that's some, I got some chitin, baby.
I'll say that like some of your beetles can represent some armor if you have any on your person.
I mean, none of us had armor. I mean, if you want me to just concede that I had armor, I'm happy to be smarter than everybody else and say yes, I had armor.
No, I just hadn't checked with you about it yet.
No. I mean, none of the pregens had armor written down.
Okay.
Well, like, hold on. Let me double check, because did I actually look and see whether I had armor?
You didn't.
I've got supply is one of those things. I've also got example sword, and no, I didn't have armor.
I run very talky dungeons, so I needed you guys to be squishy.
Yeah, no, you're good. I love a talky dungeon. No, I do not have armor, except for this wall that I'm on.
Yeah,
it's protecting my back.
Kind of funny. I've got like the most hit points. I can take any of these hits.
Wow,
and
must
I've
be
got
nice.
And you said
why am I not the one?
Instead, you just took parts.
Ava,
and the damage and an attack damage is just happening, right? And it's about damage.
Yeah.
Ava in the chat does say impaired for attacking a swarm ?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what, Ava? Okay. I will impair the damage by 1. So it'll be down to D6.
Hell yeah.
So it is a D6 of damage, or it is 6 damage?
It is a D6 of damage. I rolled a D8, but Ava's right. I will impair by 1 for the fact that the snake is attacking a swarm. And when I roll the D6, I only got a 1. So
yeah, no, I'm fine. Then that's good. I'll take it. I think I'm going to this is dumb, because we just identified there's one thing protecting me right now, and it's the fact that I'm a swarm. I'm gonna unswarm after that attack.
At the end of the session, time to die.
After I deswarm, can I Can I cast D? I mean, I don't want to D swarm. I want to D den the pythons.
D what? The pythons?
D den. Like a grouping of snakes could be called a nest or a den or a quiver. I think are
Tony,
all
I don't think
appropriate
anyone
terms,
would
I
have
think.
caught D-Den offhand.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I can't just show off my massive amount of vermin googling in the last little bit. Yeah, I want to turn the snakes into hair, just like I just turned into a person.
Okay. All right. So they will of course get a saving throw against that, but first we should determine how your spell goes. How much favor do you have left that you can
I have
use?
3 favor. Wait, no, I guess I have 2 favor left because wait, do I always have to use at least 1, or it's just the amount that I put in?
No, it's just the amount that you want to.
Okay,
to spend.
then I have 3 left.
All right.
Assuming I have not earned any favor in the time that we have been here.
I am going to call this, just so you are aware, I'm going to call this a third doctrine, which is a significant increase in danger of the casting.
Yeah, that's great.
So if you have 1 relic that you're attuned to, so you'd be rolling 2d6, and to be clear, if you get less than a 4, you die.
Yeah. That's fun.
Do you want to spend any favor?
Oh, I'm going to spend it all, baby. It's all going in. All my favor
right.
that I have right now is happening. Because I haven't looked at what that level cost, but so that's a 5. It's a 6.
What? You have rolled phenomenally, Tony.
Plus
You are
3.
Tony's cheating.
the mother of thousands.
Yeah.
Smiles.
Tony is deciding what number he thinks his dice should be and just declaring that is what he rolled.
That is not true. My critical
Tony
succeed-
does not.
I have rolled a 20 also too while we have been playing. I will point out
That's
I have
good.
not succeeded on every roll, but I have done very well.
So that was an 11 plus what?
Plus 3 because that's the amount of favor that I put in, and so I don't even know what number I need to hit. So
So at a third level doctrine, rolling a 14 is not a straight success.
Okay.
You must form a pact. Like time stops for you for a moment.
Okay.
And the mother of thousands, like you are face to face with your god. And you're like you've asked her for a lot today. And you're asking her for a lot right now. Like what are you going to do? What are you going to give her in order to make this happen?
Let's see. I will give her the inch of height that I have over Goblin.
You know what? Today, that's good enough. The mother of thousands disappears from your mind. She
I was 7 feet tall when my relationship with this woman started. By the way.
Goblin, you are now the second shortest member of the party. The tallest of the short half of the party.
Woo!
And for all of that, the snake now gets to make a saving throw.
When the snake
Oh,
succeeds
dear.
on this and you just got short for no reason, it's going to be really funny.
Yeah.
I hope it's all I want.
What is the I want to be fair to you here. I don't off the top of my head know what the DV of this should be.
I don't either.
Yeah. Ugh.
Because that's a part
know
of
what?
Errant I've never had to interact with is
I know. I really hope Ava's not watching this grinding her teeth as I mangle her game.
She probably is.
I mean,
You know she is.
I hope
According
she
to
is,
Ava
she could-
in the
so
chat,
she-
it just happens. Rules as written.
So there is no saving.
Oh, it doesn't get a saving throw?
It's magic.
Oh my goodness. So yes, you've turned Medial's snakes back into hair. I
Which
mean,
makes them
Thick,
indistinguishable from a
healthy
human,
hair.
obviously.
yeah, no, I mean, it's an immense weight of hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's now just but Medea is now just an emaciated woman who could potentially recover now that she's not having so much of her life and energy sapped out of her by
I mean, we
these.
should establish her hair is still snakes. It just is hair also too now. I mean,
Oh,
no. I mean, like at any point, like in the same way that I became a mouse person again, like I could just turn her hair back into snakes. Like,
for now though, it is hair.
In
It
the
is
way
hair.
anyone in this world's hair could become snakes, her hair could return to being snakes, is what Tony's trying to say.
there's snakes underneath there, is what I'm saying.
I mean, you've done the thing. You've rescued the villain of the dungeon. Really,
We won. Yeah, we saved the villain. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Hey, we're such a good. Also, while all this is going on, we are still counting pennies in the other room.
Yes. No.
And-
the rest
and-
of the party counting pennies.
And munching
Honestly, that's
mushrooms.
probably. No,
Big
no, go for it.
Dan. No, please.
And munching on mushrooms as well.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
We're munching on mushrooms, and we've been counting for this entire time.
I am.
I mean, yeah.
I believe sitting on Mary's shoulders because I don't want to get in the water now.
Dwiz, by the way, after you eat a mushroom, faces grow on the palms of each of your hands. They have no minds. They are just dead eyes and drooling mouths.
Stuff some coins in there.
I think you're the religious leader now.
I think I may have just created life, and that I might be God.
What a bizarre
That's
stigmata.
a common experience. Yeah.
Can I have another mushroom?
Yeah, you know what? I think that can be the rest of this session is eating mushrooms.
By the time,
I found this lady in here. She's very hungry.
let's bring her
Oh.
some mushrooms.
Probably shouldn't feed her these
Yeah,
mushrooms.
Let's bring her the mushrooms.
Yeah, absolutely. So we
Yeah.
hear from Epicures then, because I was a little worried about him.
Yeah, nobody's doing okay.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are close enough that Viskers can yell through the double doors back to you. The party can get those doors open, rejoin Viskers with dragging a floating carpet of mushrooms behind you if you wish. Goblin, of course, riding on Mary's shoulders.
I was gonna actually offer you guys to ride on my shoulder, so I'd just be the one waiting for the water.
Perfect.
since-
Even better.
Yeah.
I'm on Mary's shoulders. Mary's on your shoulders.
I am enamored with this creature of so much hair that we meet, because I feel like I finally met another of my own kind. I start speaking to her in
Hair.
my hair speak, because that's one of my two languages. Is I know hair creature language.
Mm.
Not to
She
be
is,
confused with hairs, like Hare.
Yeah.
She is even less capable of speech than I am at the moment. Maybe a slightly more forceful rasp of expelled air comes out of her, but
She's so powerful. She's so graceful too. Look at all that majestic hair.
Do you want to feed her a mushroom?
Absolutely.
All right. Roll a d12, Dwiz, since you're the one who said
Oh,
yes.
this mutation's gonna turn her hair into
Her
snakes.
hair into snakes, right?
I got
Got
a
it.
1.
You got a 1.
Yes.
Oh man. It does not do that. But she does grow a 7-foot long rat's tail.
Like we were made for each other.
I was gonna say
What
this
a
is like an
beautiful note to
incredible,
end on.
an incredible hybrid of our party. I think we found our new god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll
I guess-
all join her cult immediately and
Yeah,
spend the rest of our life down here.
We're staying here. I don't know about you guys. I'm staying here.
I think we
The
should stay
new,
here.
the new faction has arrived.
Can we go back to my
Um,
throne though?
versus mutated mad folk. Let's do our reaction roll. Reaction roll is a live stream inside of a live stream. It's our chance to sit down with the creator of an adventure that we just played through and talk about what it was like to play that adventure. Today we are playing Sanctimonious Slimes versus Expired Epicures, which is a adventure for Errant RPG. By Killed Jester Games. We've got Nick, the creator of the dungeon, and one of the main writers and contributors on Errant, here with us also too. Nick, why don't you tell people a little bit more about the dungeon that we were just rolling around in?
Yeah, it's the genesis of this idea was that I really wanted to do something with a lot of historical layers to it. My actual first title for this was The Onion Dungeon. And I think there are something like 7 different like major historical periods that changed what happened here. Like there's the time when it was built, and there's like the purpose it was built for, but that went but it has existed through so many untold eons that layers of different meaning have accreted on top of that original intent to create something that's to me interestingly complex.
Awesome. Cool. I'm super excited. I had a blast playing. Let's whip around to some of our other folks and find out a little bit more. We'll start with Keegan, because Keegan always has really unique things to contribute every single time we play a game.
Hey, thanks.
Keegan, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and what it was like to play through this adventure?
Yeah, hi, I'm Keegan EXE. I'm a game designer, and I stream here on +1. This was a lot of fun. Was there a room in this dungeon you wanted us to hit that we didn't, that you would just like to talk about for the stream? Why is it the bone orgy room?
Actually, so one major thing about this dungeon that ended up not coming up at all is that the reason it was originally built is that this location is like where a lot of strange, unnatural phenomena were occurring. So then some like prehistoric people were like, we need to contain those. We need to like put up walls around them to prevent people from like being like injured and destroyed by these like horrible breakdowns in the laws of physics. So there are a number of rooms in this dungeon that are very, very weird. One of them, like there's the Infiniforest, which is like it is a pocket dimension that intersects with ours, and it is an infinite forest that goes on forever. And if you fail to like enter it and leave it at very specific points, then you're lost. There's a room where gravity doesn't work, which, you know, before they built a room around it, caused people to like, you know, end up drifting off into the sky and then drifting out of the field of anti-gravity and plummeting to the earth. Like, so the fact that we didn't
the anti-gravity field,
not if they didn't like fall, because it would go straight. It's
got to be really perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So there's 5 rooms in here that are breakdowns in the laws of physics, and we didn't hit any of those. So,
damn.
I will say I did really like the crowd room. I love that as a concept in a dungeon, a room with just like a flow of traffic that you have to deal with. That's fun.
Thank you. I like that one too.
Speaking of which, Ivy, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, if you want to be found online, where to find you, and what it was like to play the adventure?
Hi, I'm Ivy. I write books sometimes. I worked on the Book of Gob, but I'm not really in a lot of places online. I had a lot of fun with this adventure. It was nice. I'm very curious how big it is also. Because I'm always interested in the amount of rooms in dungeons.
You know what? Now that
at least 30.
Playing. Yeah, 30.
I was gonna say, I bet 30 because we know that
was the
boss.
classic +1 speed run. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a nice sized dungeon. Pretty decent. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. As I said, I really liked the crowd room. I don't think I've seen a room quite like that in any dungeons I've poked around in. And you know, you gotta always have like anytime you've got like a bar or or a restaurant in a dungeon as well. That's also just a lot of fun. Having some sort of like, here's just a place to chill out and maybe have some food, take a rest.
Practice your crowd work.
Yeah. I really don't. I generally don't like running places that are overly antagonistic towards intruders. I find it much more interesting the way that players talk to and monsters.
Mhm.
So yeah, like bars and whatnot are like
like I don't know if you've ever poked through Stonehell, but like the Kobold Market in Stonehell is fantastic.
yeah.
I think that's all I got.
Did you have any other questions?
Any other questions?
If you need to think, we can come back.
Not at the moment, but I'll think about it.
Cool. Dwiz, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and what it was like to play through the adventure?
I'm Dwiz. I blog. You can find me at nightattheopera.blogspot.com if you want to read very long articles about game design and scenario design. I had a lot of fun. You were not kidding, Nick. This is a talky dungeon, and that is fun. It invites that kind of like goofing around attitude, and that like we can just do like silly dumb things, and like the consequences aren't like terrible. It's funny because like if it was just they're zombies, they're hostile, they attack you, then we have combat, and that can be fun. But there's something so much worse about like just accidentally like pissing them off, and they're offended, and they're like, they call you rude, and it's like, oh, well, okay. Which is funny because I'll admit, very biased. I'm more curious about slimes than I am about expireds, and I know that would have been so much worse if we had like found that half of things and like offended all of them. And I kind of want to explore like this slime religion, and if there's like a more of that going on there, if it gets deeper than just people who are generally kind of proselytizing. If there's a slime pope, I would definitely have sought them out.
The slope.
I think they're more Presbyterian in there. In fact, I think I refer to them as a presbyterate of slimes at one point.
I love it.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Dwiz, do you have any more questions you want to ask?
I need to scan this map real quick to find. Oh, there's a censored bar. I'm gonna guess that's where we would have found the bone orgy.
Yeah, that's where
so. I'm curious about the 1 month.
1 month
arrow?
is a very cool thing to see written on a
with an arrow.
Yeah.
So time dilation occurs in that room. That's one of the 5 rooms with where physics breaks down. It like from the party's perspective, walking across that room would be entirely normal, but in the amount of time it would take to walk straight from one end to the other, a month of time would have passed outside.
It's so interesting, especially considering because of the good Jaquazing and because of the faction play, what awaits you on the other side of that door could potentially be incredibly different. Given your just quick walk through it.
Does
and
the
especially
inverse
if you
apply?
Does the inverse? Oh no,
If you walk backwards.
No, it's any way you walk through the room. Like
okay.
You perceive yourself as going at a normal speed, but you're actually going much slower. And of course, if you've like made any particular enemies, you then become like a very easy target as they can perceive you moving at an infinitesimal rate through this room.
That's so fun. Also even the fun thing is like if you want to throw an enemy in that room, not have to deal with them for a month, you can also do.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
There's some really great
there's
some really great deconstructed concepts in this. I also love the way that the map has been done. It's super enjoyable. And just kind of a pleasure to look at now, especially as we're zoomed out. I had an absolute blast playing. I'm a big fan of Errant. We haven't got to play it enough on stream. I was really excited to finally play a zealot. It was as much fun as I wanted to just be like, here are the 3 things my deity does. Cool. Let's go weird bonkers within that. Is super fun.
I'm really glad you had to make a pact. Because that's such a fun part of the zealot, right?
It is, and that's kind of why I was like pushing for these bigger and bigger things. So I was like, I know what will happen when I fail. Let's see what we can do. death is fine, but is like not the most enjoyable part of it. Though the way it's described in the book is super rich, because it's not just like, oh, you die. It's like your deity rips you apart as a new like version of themselves is born through your flesh. Like it's very
Love
good.
that.
But
Love
it's,
that.
Well,
yeah,
and like it's not that hard to avoid death if you're being
Correct.
even this much careful.
right. Because you can do simple spells and really not have to worry about it. Or if you're doing the big ones, that's when you're like, yeah, I'm gonna pump in enough favor that there's no risk of me dying right now. Like
Exactly.
is an easy option, you know, which is exactly what I did. I was like, I don't actually know that I'll hit what I want to hit to make this successful, which is fine because that's not actually what I want to do. Or without hitting a consequence, I wanted to be able to see some of that and play through some of that. I do love the idea of the packs and other stuff like that. And I do feel like in an ongoing campaign, there's richer things, especially 2 or 3 sessions deep when you're making those packs and deals. Like it becomes a lot richer because you know more about what the character is all about. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was gonna ask, oh yeah, so this is a totally selfish question. Because I'm currently working on a faction resource for Down We Go, our house OSR system. But I've been looking at and reading and thinking a lot about factions lately. I love the way that you write and think. I love this dungeon experience. For you, when you sit down to create factions or when you sit down to think about faction play, what are some of the things you are thinking through or that you want to make sure are there to make sure it's easy to play the factions at the table?
Mm-hmm. I think like a really concrete frame of like social norms, I guess, like really concrete social norms. Like, you know, here we've got 2 major factions. We've got the Sanctimonious Slimes and the Expired Epicures. Like the Sanctimonious Slimes are, I feel like you guys grok what their vibe is. They're very religious and they're very serious about their religion, and in a sort of they don't like books that much, slime thumping, scolding sort of way. They're very disapproving of anyone who isn't in lockstep with their belief system. And I think that sort of like immediate grounding gives you some room to, like, with individual slimes, then like explore how individuals can like deviate from their group while still belonging to it. You know, maybe this one is a little more outspoken. Maybe this one's like a little bit more understanding. Maybe this one has some questions that they're afraid to voice to others in their group. Similar with the Epicures, where they're like, as a group, they are so deeply, you know, they're really not that Epicurean, because Epicureans, you know, they are. They're good about understanding their limits. They're really more hedonistic, the undead in this dungeon, and so you know exactly what how they're going to behave in a lot of encounters. They're always going to do whatever's the most fun or funny or enjoyable at a given time, and you know, then maybe some of them are more interested in one form of pleasure over another, or maybe some of them are beginning to question how much joy they actually get out of constantly seeking pleasure.
I love it. No, this is great, and I really appreciate your insight. I'm super excited to actually get the final version of this. Speaking of which, y'all are over on Kickstarter right now. TTRPG.link/slimes I believe y'all have already funded. What can people expect when they get this beautiful little book in their hands?
Let's see. I mean, a beautiful little book.
That's the hope, right?
Yeah. We're you know, it's going to be properly printed, and it's got some, what I think are like some lovely black and white illustrations in it, from like some of them done by myself. Like the map is one of my pieces, and then some of them done by Maury Bird, who did some very cute sketches of slimes, and is also did the cover with the Medusa's head, who's been like cracked open, and there's a bunch of snakes coming out of it. I believe, let me double check the page count right here. It's a 25-page little book. There is a wealth of tables in it. I intentionally kept my room descriptions very terse. That's like part of what I am kind of experimenting with lately is a very, very terse presentation style to ground you in the room and like the essentials of what's here, and then allow you to improvise around that. Like I say, I think in the opening that like the final draft of this is like half as long as the first one was, because I really wanted to cut down into something that was immediately evocative to the GM reading it, immediately accessible at the table, without tying you up too much. I'm sorry, I don't know if we said this since the stream started. I'm just getting over a real bad cold, and I think I'm losing my voice at this point.
I mean, that's fine. That also feels like a good place to stop, rather than us sitting here and watching you punish yourself for 5 more minutes just to do a commerce. I'm super excited. We also mentioned this, but I'll talk through it so that you don't have to. The Gangashore, the Ganshagor. Am I pronouncing it right now? Am I close?
I say Ganshager. I haven't heard
Ganshager.
Gus say it in voice chat though, so maybe I'm saying it wrong too. Have you heard?
There are 100 limited edition print copies that you can get through this Kickstarter also too, and those have been printed for this, and then those have been printed, and once they are gone, they are gone. So if you want to get a print copy of that, feel free to hop over to the campaign and check it out also.
Yeah.
And so, please, go check out this adventure. There's a lot of really great things here. Nick, it's been so great having you run for us. I know you were nervous beforehand. A lot of times we have people on who are, you did a tremendous job. This was a blast to play through. Had a really good time. But just a reminder to people, head over to that link. Also, if you want to support our stream, the content we make, please feel free, head over to rpgzine.club. Check out RPG Zine Club. We've got a digital option, so if you're somewhere else in the world and don't want to pay shipping, you can, but it's going to help support over the next year 26 different emerging and expanding creators who are trying to get their game into print without having to go through crowdfunding, because it's a lot of emotional labor and work. It's our team's way of investing in diverse voices from across the space, and it helps make what we do more sustainable here also too. We've got some projects we're launching soon. You can find out more about all of those things by following us on social media. And tomorrow we are sitting down with Chris McDowell to play Mythic Bastion Land. So if you want to know what happened before Into the Odd, come over and hang out with us for a couple hours tomorrow afternoon. We booked streams for a week, and then we're like, woo! Thank goodness that was done. And then Keegan and I are doing 3 streams this weekend, a few days afterwards. After that, I don't have anything planned next weekend because I'll be at Save Against FearCon. I don't know if Keegan's gonna punish themselves or not.
We'll find out.
Scheduling a bunch of streams. But
I think we also have a Take Flight on Thursday.
Take Flight on Thursday is happening. And so we've got a lot of great things coming up. We've got a lot more shows we'll be launching in the new year also too, including Wizard Killers, which Richard Ruane is going to be heading up. So please keep an eye on all the great things that we have going on. We don't have a good way to end these streams, and at this point, we're not interested in figuring one out. So we're all just going to wave at the camera.